Hello. Haha. Ho ho. What do we do? What do we do? Searching for a Legion TD at the moment. I wouldn't mind giving that Bourbon Nog a go again. We'll do that soon. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Whoa, that sounds loud. I think I know why that's so loud. Hello, it's because I was doing some testing in Warcraft 3 earlier and I had the volume at 85%. Alright, let's build those first. There we go.
I am prepared.
Re-roll. Isn't that dragon really good?
My brothers.
We get Mr. Magical Dragon.
Out with it. That's a given. Upgrade complete.
At least I'm not going to suck completely this time because I'm not building an alchemist. King's Challenger champion, of course. Why wouldn't you? If you know you can kill it, why wouldn't you? Okay, so basically set. I'll leave him to do what he's going to do over there. Yeah, I had a nice meal. I'll just probably have some chocolatey biscuits and that later tonight. I won't do a proper meal for myself, which I normally do. Give me a bit more time to work on the editing. I did a tiny bit of it again. I need to get a bit more done. Get so close to the end of it tonight, and then tomorrow finish it off. I'll leak. You think?
I am prepared.
I don't think so. I thought this guy's supposed to clear, isn't he? I guess we'll find out. Isn't he got like a really good AoE? No, I'm not sure if I'm seeing it if he does. But to be fair, he seems to be doing okay. Yeah, he's doing alright. He's doing fine, mate. What are you panicking about? Didn't look like he leaked to me. He looked like he was quite healthy. Although I thought he had more of an AoE. Hello, everyone. Hello, Fry. Hey, Fry. Hello, Angry Barney. Let's get you loaded up. Locked and loaded.
Research complete.
Okay. What do we build now? Meat wagons are often gouche. He's quite good, isn't he? Mr. or whatever he does. Mr. Stun Boy. I wonder if I can get away with this.
I am prepared.
And just push like crazy and then next turn build something more interesting.
Yes.
We'll find out. Would I rather spend years studying world literature, economics, computer science, or language science? Economics, if it meant that I could use that for like a business degree or something like that, because that's how you make money. Otherwise, computer science potentially, but I think you really want to study how to interact with ChatGPT to get the best out of computers. Would be my suspicion. In the editing for the Undead campaign mission, killing the basis thing. Yes! Yes, it's going well. Lots of, you know, sort of like, I have to do a lot of Photoshop work. What have I got? I don't know if I've got anything that good here other than Mass Entangle Boys.
Out with it.
Looks like he cleared, that's good. How's it been? Things are going alright. Not too shabby. What shall we go? Mass Archeroos? Negative. ASC. Man, that guy's gone 6-2. Looks like 5? I don't know. I don't know what to build out of this lot. I don't feel like any of this is particularly impressive. This is a shame. I think it just has to be mass ends. Yes, coaching indeed. Oh. Let's just do mass ends.
Out with it. My brothers.
95? 90. Just do a bottom feeder, that'll do.
Has begun.
Sell that bad boy when I need to.
I am prepared. No one shall be the wiser.
I don't even have a channel Hall of Fame, I don't think, iPangs. Should do, though. You have to remember everyone, though. If you miss anyone out, they're going to come back at you and be angry. Yeah. Cleared that, no problem. Well, of course they didn't do a send, so I guess next turn is the send. Feels like we may as well send. Like, they're obviously going to send, right? You would want to do it before you get the income, but I don't know. Maybe even go 6. You'd think 5 would be good, since a lot of the things that seem to survive are the heavy armor. But then again, it's not necessarily all heavy armor.
For my brothers.
Anything good to build? I'd consider the half-breed just for the aura. But otherwise, the necromancer at least. He can pop off.
Has begun. That's it.
Work complete.
The restless dead await.
Ghost is too expensive, but you could do 2 necrolytes or something.
More gold is required. No one shall be the wiser.
Upgrade complete. Work complete.
Pee-wee's supposed to be good. Although I don't truly understand how it's that good, but it's supposed to be. So I'll have 1 to upgrade later.
I bid you.
In memory of Tyrannus.
Enlighten me. That's it.
Bring him in!
I am prepared.
Yeah, no sense. Crazy. Crazy. Their red guy's only got 0 games. And Baguette. It's 4. Pig!
Go, Mr. Streamer Chiggy.
Thank you, Mr. Stone of Wood. Here to help. Ogres are going to soak up those pig kills. I'm too slow to kill. What?
Out with it. It has begun. I bid it. That's
Right. So level 5 makes you wonder if the Yigi thing would be good, but there's no archery dudes, which is really sucky. Because that's what you bloody well want. So I just have to get Yigi, I suppose. Where's all my archers?
I cannot summon. Research complete.
one shall be the wiser.
Work
Oh,
complete.
yeah.
Yes, my liege.
Pee-wee, but he's got heavy armor.
Why shudder? You seek me help?
Oh well.
I bid it.
Yeah.
What do you need? I hear the summons.
It has begun.
Work complete.
That's a given.
In memory of Taranis.
One shall be the wiser.
At least Yigi with his fortified armor. Well, I don't know. They've done weak wagons, so. He's lived a bit longer than I thought he was going to live. But yeah, there's no way I'd clear this. Another bunch of skeletons. Oh, shit. He's sitting down. It's not that big a send. I mean, it's not that big a leap, I suppose. Do with some more commanders.
More lumber is required.
There you go. You better believe there's a big send coming next time. It's gonna be spicy.
Out with it. All my brothers.
Dun-dun-dun-dun,
That's a given.
dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I am prepared. One shall be the wiser.
Say the word.
Make your choice.
Take orders.
I am prepared. It has begun. That's a given.
Work complete.
Out with it.
I am ready.
Ready?
I bid it.
Proceed. I await.
My brothers.
Work complete. In memory of Taranis. More lumber is required.
Send in the boys.
More lumber is required.
Xanthian's played a lot of Warcraft 3 over the years, but never actually multiplayer. Do you suggest 1v1 or 4v4 to start with? I suggest 1v1 against a computer, practice in a build order with the race that you enjoy, and then you can bring that to 4 versus 4 RT, or 1 versus 1. But as long as you know a build order that you can follow relatively reliably, that's going to allow you to produce units so you're not going to be useless, then you can do that in 4 versus 4 RT. Let's get them, boys. I take ages to clear. Militia are the new OP in this, aren't they?
Someone call for the doctor?
Start with Night Elf with AI. Sure, yeah. Try to learn how to do Ancient of War creeping. So you normally build an Ancient of War close to a greenish camp, potentially an orange camp if it's easy enough to do. And you build one archer, you pull the creep camp with the archer and uproot the Ancient of War, eat a tree, and then you start creeping. That gets you off to a good start. Right, level 7's going to be nasty. But if we get Mr. Veteran and stuff like that. You got the tree that explodes, you got Mr. Veteran, so you got some tanks.
How may I serve?
Polar Bear maybe? Just to slow him down? And then the rest pierce and damage. I can't do much from that. It doesn't really matter now.
What must I do? I am prepared. It has begun.
Work complete. Work complete.
Bear behind, he's not... Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
More lumber is
Hold up.
required. More lumber is in memory of Tyrannus.
My life for the Horde.
More lumber
I
is
stand
required.
Out with it.
I think it's okay.
I bid you.
Slow is pretty good. Bring it on. Give Orange some credit. Oh boy. Mavericks are good. Soul of a Hero. Would I say Demon Hunter Bear or Keeper Huntress Archer? Demon Hunter Bear. If you want to be a competitive Demon Hunter, really. If you get more experience with the game, you can try to do other things other than Demon Hunter, which is what I typically would do. Because I think he's cool, but I also think he's incredibly boring. Like, when I play 1 versus 1, I just get too bored of, like, trying to play 2 meta or something like that. It's too frustrating to play with such sort of bland things. Ghost!
Yes, Lord Chief.
Research complete.
I wait.
Out with it.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
In memory of Tyrannus.
Enlighten.
No one should know it.
Baguettes. You need 5 people to kick him? I guess. If they all want to kick him. Get him out of here. Where's my anti-stun?
Prepared.
Someone call for the doctor? My life for the Horde.
Research complete.
My life for the Horde.
I thought we were going 10, but it's 8. Oh well. Yeah, why not?
That's a given. For my brothers, that's a given.
Why not? Don't know if I have anything particularly good against level 9 with this lot.
What is your wish? How may I serve? What does the shadow will?
I never tried the hero, but I don't know how it works in this. I got 20 seconds, so I'm probably better off just getting Mudmen or something. Not fuck it up.
Work complete.
Brothers,
Work complete.
out with it.
I'm not AFK.
It has begun.
Upgrade. Work complete. No one should rise. Work complete.
I stand ready.
More lumber is required. In memory of Tyrannus.
Land prepared. Out with it.
They didn't send, did they? So we should be okay. A Lord of the Rings RPG. There we go. The rum is gone. Okay. What we'll do is actually I've got a react or two to do. Soul's chucked one into the mix, so we'll have a look at his video. Have to get the volume right.
Do you even remember that we have PTR going on in Warcraft 3? So Blizzard suggested a small changes, mostly addressing Dark Ranger.
Is that
but
okay?
It was when Grabby was playing a lot of Warcraft 3
Grabby!
daily.
Grabby.
And Grabby gave out some
I put him on fast speed, which is going to be difficult for people to understand. So we'll take him down a notch or two. It's just because it's like a 30-minute video. So I won't try to interrupt him too much, because otherwise the thing will go on forever. But we'll go over his points. I'll try to give like very quick responses to whatever it is he suggests, or whatever I want to pipe in on, basically. Oh, it's a good song, that.
some feedback, and some other content creators went in with the feedback, and Blizzard addressed that. Afterwards, we had, Christmas and the New Year, so there was a very, very slow action.
I'm right next to him. I think we got a space at this. Let's have a
Warcraft
look.
3.
It looks like the top right is free. So we should be okay to pop over there. I'll bring you along with me. There we go. I brought you along for the ride. Hang on a second.
Now Grabby's playing.
That bloody grabby guy. Any grabbies in chat? Right. Let's take that off. Let's go here. Grabby, yeah. Okay. Soul 8 Man is a troublemaker. Fine, I'll subscribe. There you go. That shuts you the fuck up, doesn't it? What are you gonna do now, huh? What the fuck are you gonna do now? Huh? You got any other criticisms on your sleeve? You got anything else you want to like poke at me up for? Huh? Got anything else? I don't think you do you? You're gonna be looking for stuff, but you can't find it. All right. Okay. London is done. Are you ready for some criticisms of the Warcraft 3 system? What are the developers up to? What are they doing? Should the pro players be having so much insights and essentially hearsay and thoughts going into the PTR that makes it go through to live? Well, do you even remember that the Warcraft 3 still has a PTR? It says Soul 8 Man. He's got his YouTube channel here. Check him out. It'll be linked in the video description below. His analysis and suggestions. So about 30 minutes. Got him on slight speed here, and I'm going to pipe in when I feel necessary. So let's get started.
Hello, Warcraft 3 people. Do you even remember that we have PTR going on in Warcraft 3? So Blizzard suggested a small changes, mostly addressing Dark Ranger, but it was when Grabby was playing a lot of Warcraft 3 daily, and Grabby gave out some feedback, and some other content creators went in with the feedback, and Blizzard addressed that. Afterwards, we had, Christmas and the New Year, so there was a very, very slow action in Warcraft 3. Now Grabby is playing World of Warcraft, and it's a little bit, nobody's talking about the PTR, but myself, I'm a Warcraft 3 content creator. If you don't know me, my name is Soleib and I'm an ape, and let me tell you one thing. I watch Warcraft 3 every day since like 2 days on pro level. I'm casting it, I'm thinking about this a little bit, and I call myself like a soul chat GPT man, because if I see something weird, I know that it's, not what is used. So in this video, I will give you my feedback, what I think is good, what I think is bad. I will do some small suggestions from my end. know it's late in the PTR cycle, so first thing first, I don't have like big suggestions, so small suggestions, but first thing first, I'm going to remind you what is going on, and of course, as a Warcraft 3 nerd, as a Warcraft 3 fallen gamer, I prepared this in the form of the Excel sheet. We are going to start with human, and what is interesting with me, you have those 4 columns here, and it's basically showing how important change is in every matchup, because you know we need to address every matchup. Rated changes from big nerf, small nerf, doesn't matter, small buff, big buff, and need
Layman's terms, then. Yeah.
Testing, because you know, if you buff witch doctors, you may say, oh, it's a big buff for orc, but then nobody uses witch doctors. And
this is only like 1.25 speed or 1.2 speed. But that's how fast he's moving, is look how blurred he is.
Anyway, so there is like the change like doesn't matter, so maybe it needs testing, or maybe I'm not sure. So the first change is about riflemen. They are attacking a little bit slower. The overall nerf is 3% of the DPS, which is not that much. And if you think that the change is to address Pala Rifle, I have one answer for you. Pala Rifle players, they like to kite a lot. It means attack, go back, attack, go back. So it's a big nerf versus Orc, because you play only rifles, but you know, it's like instead of 3%, you'll feel like 2% maybe. And I don't like this change overall. Why? Because it's also changing how you play versus Night Elf and Undead. Versus Undead, humans are mostly expanding, and then you don't make any rifles, right? If some...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I mean, to be fair, I don't know too much in the pro scene whatsoever, because I don't particularly follow it. Though, of course, it is always cool. But as you know, I do my custom games. But I know that, at least from my experience, riflemen were still pretty productive, somewhat against Night Elf bears if they get enough damage upgrades and they can focus the bears down a little bit. Versus undead, yes, definitely. If the undead kind of lets you get away with it, if they're happy, they will probably be like level 5 by the time you got your paladin to level 2. But yeah, either way, I'm not a big enthusiast of this nerf, because it's a nerf to human, and I don't think human, at least riflemen, need the nerf so much. They'll typically always go archmage footman anyway, majority of the games, so nerfing riflemen is just like, eh.
Players, and it happened on pro level, it decides to play one base, then yes, make a lot of rifles with Archmage and Mount King and cast, and they try to push into the undead expansion on the undead base. If you nerf rifles, the humans will be like, okay, I have only one playable strategy versus undead, I will expand forever, I will make 0 rifles. Similar versus Night Elf. If you want to try to play one base versus Night Elf, which is very rare, but happened in the Dolphin Super League recently by Fortitude, then you know, you make a lot of rifles, you need to push with them, you can't really go back, kite that much because you are pushing. So human will say, okay, versus Night Elf, I'm not going to try different strategies. I will always play the same, right? So if you want to address rifle attack like that, I think you say, okay, I'm nerfing it versus Pala Rifle, but you're also killing like making basically 2 other matchups versus Night Elf and Undead more boring, because there's only one dominating strategy. Now we have 2 changes to the master training time, and let me tell you one thing. For some reason, Blizzard wants to put all of the master training at 60 seconds. You may say, Soul, that's a nice idea. But wait a moment, Bear Master...
Soul, that's a nice idea. I personally don't think about it too deeply with the timings, because once again, I don't follow it, and that's hard to do. So unless you're following on the pro scene, perhaps there's something absolutely devastating about priests being able to research down to 60 instead of 75, because that means that extra 15 seconds means they can be in your base 15 seconds earlier, which would absolutely be devastating to orc or undead in particular. I don't know. But I think, generally speaking, research time should be decreased, because it's kind of a miserable experience having to wait a minute or 2 minutes for these slow-ass things to kick in. I think it just makes the game pacing more enjoyable and fun, because then you can actually get to use the thing you've researched rather than forget that you even researched it because it takes so long.
Training, you know, Druid of the Claw is 35 seconds, and you know, nerfing this would create a big problem, because you know, all of the Night Elf strategies are almost all of the Night Elf strategies are based about built around this 35 seconds timing. So you know, I don't think in general putting all of those master trainings at 60 seconds is a good idea, because it ties your hands. Why exactly? You know, you will have to like make a lot of other changes to make it work. I don't know if it's like tempting for everybody to play Warcraft because all of the master trainings have the same time. That being said, when do you see Inner Fire Priest, and when you do see Polymorph from Sword Gladies? From Sword Gladies, never. So it doesn't matter. I saw so many human versus Night Elf games, and human stays on tier 2 anyway. But
I don't know if they could ever do this, but wouldn't it be interesting if perhaps you could actually research priest master training and still be able to build priests whilst you're researching it? So it would be a separate thing that would be occurring whilst you're still able to build priests. It's just something that happens in the background of that building, but you can still actively build priests. Perhaps then you could increase the research time of things. It's because it stops you from being able to build units from that structure that slows everything down, in my opinion. Just a thought.
sometimes okay. If Nidal is making Mountain Giants, is like sitting in one base, maybe human will play this tier 3 and you have some inner fire, but you have rifles. So do you put this inner fire on rifles? You can't put it on breakers. Okay, you can put it on your heroes maybe, but you know, you upgrade your priest, not even for the inner fire that much, but to have more mana and better stats. It's very rare to see, and this 15 seconds is not going to motivate human players to go tier 3 for inner fire press. Priest is a very small buff and it doesn't matter. Last but not least, we have Water Elemental on level 2 change, and it's a 1 base damage. And let me tell you, this is like probably like less than 1% nerf. So okay, Archmage on level 3 can be pretty oppressive. If you think that human is overperforming, you know, that I'm not going to comment on that, the state of the balance. I'm just telling you that is, again, this is a small nerf to 1 base plays, because if you expand, you often fight, you know, with Water Elemental just on level 1. You don't rely on this, like, I creep level 3 Archmage really quickly, I'm taking, I'm going to attack my opponent base, and then I'm going to deal some damage with my Water Elemental level 2. So again, it's like, okay, then we'll just expand versus Undead anyway, we'll expand versus Night anyway, in human minor doesn't matter, and versus Org you play Pala Rifle mostly, so there is no Water Elementals there, but it's a small nerf. Do I like it? I don't know, it can, like, it's whatever. Overall, I give changes for human 1 by 10, it's not 0, because, you know, okay, there is maybe something with this master training, but let me tell you, on professional level, it's like just so boring. We don't have anything new for human, and I don't like it. It needs to be a little bit exciting. Warcraft is not like chess that you want to have like perfect balance game for like 2,000 years. I like the changes on Orc much more. Why? Well, let's start about Shaman and Witch Doctor Master Training. This is like a little bit interesting because you never see Master Training on those units.
I think what we need to do is we need to get to a point where you can actually make mass Witch Doctors a viable strategy, is what Soul 8 Man is basically trying to get at here. He wants more enjoyable things to be able to do in the game, more gimmicky, fun things that you can pull off. Perhaps they still won't be as strong as the traditional Archmage Footman beginning and, you know, Night Elf Demon Hunter Bears, which is the staple. But perhaps it's still more viable than basically being an impossibility right now.
And you don't see Witch Doctors anyway. Orc often stays tier 2. There is on tier 2. There is no like this, you know, tier 3 orcs that go for master upgrade. So that being said, okay, maybe in the Org Mirror there'll be more Bloodlust, but remember that Org Mirror is dominated by Taurens anyway. So it doesn't matter. You know, you can buff those Witch Doctors like that and nobody will play them anyway. Is an exciting change because of that? I don't think so. Now you have Spirit Walker get the same treatment to the master training. And it's a small buff against Pala Rifle, right? So again, this is Pala Rifle got nerfed in human patch. Now Org is getting buff versus Pala Rifle, but it's very little. And do I like this? I mean, Taurens are pretty dominating in Org Mirror anyway. And do we see Master Training versus Pala Rifle? Okay, versus Undead versus Night Elf, you don't play it. So it's like whatever. But the last change, healing solve duration from 45 to 40 seconds. Amount healed the total amount of healing is unchanged. I like this. Why? Because it's basically you heal faster, right? Because on pro level, you know, you creep something with Blade Master, you are half HP missing, you put healing wave on top of you, and then you run to another camp, right? And with this change, you get a little bit more HP. I checked this with ChatGPT, that I ran the math, it's like plus 20 HP, plus 30 HP per healing solve, you know, with this like extra efficiency, you know, because...
Me and Grubby got some beef in regards to the healing self. But, I think this item's OP, but there seems to be a lot of people that seem to think it's not enough, and orcs still need more healing. I know it's very contentious. I don't know if that's a proper word for this situation, but it's like the lower leagues, perhaps it's really OP, but at the top, healing self just doesn't do quite enough for them. It's a tricky one to deal with. Yivy saying you feel like if Healing Ward wasn't as fragile, it would be valued more. I think Healing Ward would be... It's a really OP thing, that percentage healing over time. Obviously, first is creeps because they don't kill the Healing Ward. First is players, it's insanely shite. So if you made it a tier 2 option instead of Stasis Ward, for example, and gave them something else for tier 3, because no one uses Stasis Ward's trap, would it be too strong to have healing at tier 2? Probably, because it means they could do the red creep counts a bit more easily, but then they'd be spending some resources in Witch Doctors, which they don't build anyway, so then those aren't as strong as building a Shaman, for example, or whatnot. So there's some counterbalance there of trying to make Healing Ward more viable. For perhaps it could be like the Keep of the Grove when they used to change his ult so that he was invulnerable for the first 5 seconds. You put a Healing Ward down, it's invulnerable for the first 5 seconds, so it can't immediately be killed. And if you do kill a Healing Ward, aura, it's an aura, so auras in the game tend to last for about 3 seconds after you've So say, for example, your Death Knight dies, you actually still have Unholy Aura for about approximately 3 seconds. And then it disappears. So it takes like 3 seconds for things to disappear anyway. So it'll give it like a maximum of 8 seconds or something that the Healing Wall could be up for. Do you see what I'm saying?
In professional conditions, you don't have this full duration of the healing solve, right? It's like at 40 seconds, you have like 20 seconds. So it's a small buff, and mostly to Blade Master first. So as we can see versus Nidav, I think it's a big buff, because versus Nidav you have your shop early, and since the early game, you basically heal better, and you heal better very important unit, a hero, a Blade Master, right? For example, versus Human, you make your shop late. In Org Mirror, I mean, then Org Mirror will be more about Blade Masters, but that's okay. And versus Undead, again, Blade Master fast tag is quite popular. So it's basically a buff to Blade Master play. If you think it's like, oh, it's a late game buff to healing all of the Org units, no. In my opinion, it's going to be benefit one Burrow Tech players. Grabby like to play like that versus Undead, and or you can play just fast tech in general. And yes, I like, because it's like a very subtle buff and it's helping the Blade Master. So why not? Overall, I'm excited about Blade Master. Overall, I'm a little bit excited about those casters, but I have very low expectations. So the review of it is 4/10. Okay, now we have an Undead that, as you can see, there is a lot of changes, but they are grouped kinda. So ghouls, they have more damage, but they attack slower. Overall, is a net positive. It's around 3.5% DPS buff. And you know what? When ghouls were nerfed after the Super League Season 1, is because in the Super League we have 3 Undeads in top 4. So the final was Undead Mirror, and semi.
Could just be a coincidence when that sort of thing occurs, though. It's not necessarily a correlation. But ghoul attack cooldown, it says big buff, and I guess it is in comparison to the previous patch where it was nerfed, but their ghoul attack cooldown is technically still a nerf. So I feel like they're still worse off than they were like a patch or 2 ago, right? I'm not 100% sure on that.
Like this, you know, it was Ascension, doesn't matter. There was like 3 Undeads in top 4 players, and then Blizzard decided to nerf the ghouls by one damage to the base damage. And you know, Undeads, they use ghouls a lot, and now they want to kind of reverse it. Okay, so it's like, because of this cooldown change, it's like basically the ghouls are not as good as they were, but they're like halfway there. And let me tell you, Human is getting nerfed with this like water elemental stuff. So Human versus Undead is going to look worse, and now Undead is getting buffed. You know, we need to make sure that Undead is not going to be over buffed, because if the patch goes like that, I think the big winner of this patch is going to be Undead again, because Undead is getting buffed, Human's getting nerfed, Org is like, the Blade Master play will be better, and you know, we'll check the Nidav. There is not that many changes for the Nidav, but yes, that's my. I'm a little bit worried about this, but yes, it's not over. It's not super big, but Undead can be very strong again. Banshee Master Training research time from 75 to 60 seconds. We don't see Banshees that much. There was this big sensation that you can possess webbed Gryphons, webbed.
Yeah, they're tier 5 units in direct strike, Banshees.
Flying units, right, with Banshee possession. And you know what? I thought it's going to break Undead versus Human, but Humans are quite good at positioning their armies. It's not that easy to possess Gryphons. So let me tell you, Undeads are not adding Banshees versus Human that often, and in other matchups sometimes they do it versus Niders, but it's usually in 2-base scenario, so this timing doesn't matter that much. I would like to see more Banshee possession, so okay, I like it, and it's not going to help versus Orc, and it's going to help in other matchups. And yes, the Ghoul buff is of course buff across all of it, because nobody open with Fiends. Basically, you always open with Ghouls. Maybe in the Undead Mirror we play DK Fiends, but it's very, very rare. You fight with Ghouls, you creep with Ghouls, so as you can see, buff. We have 3 changes to Wand of Negation. Wand of Negation is this new item that allows you to dispel. It's a single target dispel, so it's cheaper, but it has less charge, and now it's at cooldown. So the most popular use case of Wand of Negation is to evaporate water elementals. Is when Undead expands, Human expands, then does tier 2 fights, and Undead is rich, right, as Human, but Undead is spending a lot of gold on those Wand of Negations. When they see water elemental, just destroy water elemental, and now it's an address, right? So maybe Undead versus Human, even the ghouls are stronger, it's not going to be that bad. And the other use cases, Wand of Negations, is you use it to dispel, entangle. That's why Keeper is basically doesn't exist, right? Versus Undead, because as a first hero, and as a second hero as well, because you know.
Yeah, so it's 40 gold to dispel and entangle, basically. You could value that to a degree, but if you're shutting down his effectively only ability at that point, then you are negating him completely for that 40 gold charge. So, yeah, it's such a tricky thing with Warcraft 3. Like, some creeps are so overpowered if you don't have Dispel. For example, Lightning Shield versus a human creep camp. You go to do a creep camp as human, you get Lightning Shield on one of your units or on the unit that you're trying to kill. So then you're taking like 5-10 damage per second or even quicker than that. It's like monumental. So if you had Dispel, it immediately removes that. but then it removes that whole threat. It's like there's not much of a sort of a delicate nuance of taping it down a little bit. It's completely gone, or it's too strong. So I don't know. Items, I don't know what you can really do about that other than just change it so they don't even get Wand of Negation, because undead seem to have a lot of items to start off with anyway. I don't feel like they really need Wand of Negation. I could be wrong, because they have to wait till destroyers for any real proper dispel, but they almost always get destroyers anyway, and they tech up pretty damn quickly undead most of the time, so it's not that long till they can get dispel effectively.
Tier 200 can just dispel Entangle, the Treants as well, you know, so especially Entangle, right? Because you think, like, you spend a little bit of gold and you can dispel 75 mana per charge of Keeper, because that's much how it costs to Entangle things. So let me tell you one thing, guys. I like this change because Wand of Negation can be used to dispel another good things like Rejuvenation. We see this more often. You can, like, if you have only 2 Obsidian statues, you know, to heal you, you don't want to morph Destroyer immediately, and it's hard to, you know, aim with the Destroyer to dispel this first Rejuvenation and Demon Hunter. So in my opinion, Wand of Negation, that's pretty cool, ladies and gentlemen, to use versus in those cases. And if you buff ghouls, if you nerf human in general, then okay, nerf this 2-base situation for undead as well, to not make undead just dominate versus human.
He's selling the Wand of Negation more on me now, just simply because it's a quicker way to basically kill the Demon Hunter, is what he's saying.
Like those changes, and because it's cheaper now, and you don't care about cooldown if you dispel Hex or Rejuvenation, it's going to motivate undead players to use it more often versus other races than human, so I really like it. And this may be controversial, by the way, so that's why I put it in orange, because when I was doing some theory crafting with the Twitch chat told me that I'm crazy. This just, I should say, nerf. But I think versus Orc and Night Elf, you don't care about cooldown, you don't care about, you know, 4 charges, 3 charges are enough. So I think it's a decent, interesting change. Last but not least, we have Frostworm build time from 65 to 60 seconds, and it only matters versus Night Elf on pro level. Nobody makes Frostworms on pro level, and versus Night Elf sometimes you make them. In general, I like Frostworms, more Frostworms, yes, but we also remember that this balance affects team modes, and in team modes there is much more Frostworms. I have an idea how to make Frostworms better without this, with a different change. So far,
it is actually funny. That is unironically a massive buff for 4 versus 4 RT for all the undeads that are straight tech and whatnot and go for mass frostworms. I don't know they've done that for chimeras yet. Typical bloody night elves straight teching to go mass chimeras. At least they'll get their army quicker, so you're not having to fight 3 versus 4.
I'm a little bit excited about this patch. I would give it 6/10 because there's a lot of different things and there's a lot of things to think about. But in general, my big worry is that this is going to be just too imba. And guys, there is not that much about the Night Elf. Not that much about the Night Elf. And there is not that much about the Night Elf, guys. We have 2 changes. Let's read the first one. Druid of the Talon Master Training Research to 60 seconds from 75. And guys, these actually open possibilities. If you do remember, we are an old school Warcraft player versus Orc Night Elves. They used to play this Druid of the Talon. So Talons with Demon Hunter, Beastmaster, and Tinker as a 3rd hero. And you know, these days is a little bit weaker because of Blade Master Mirror Image and in general Talon changes. But actually, you play 1 base, you go tier 3, and you really wait for this Talon Master training. So this, from all of those master buffs, this one is the most important because it can help you to make Talons, and you sometimes place Talons in the Night Elf mirror. So I like it. This, I like it. That makes a lot of sense instead of like this, giving it the same treatment to Sword Ladies, to Sorceress, because it actually may open new strategies that you would like to see. And last but not least, Glaive Thrower build time is decreased a little bit. It doesn't matter that much. You don't see Glaive Throwers on professional level. Maybe you are getting Tower Rush or something, but it's very rare to see, for example, Night Elf in Night Elf Mirror seeing Potom Hands. Why? Because Hands were nerfed some time ago. They are no longer bouncing from building to repairing workers, and it's very hard to siege with Hands even if you have Glaive Throwers behind. I mean,
I was purely thinking this is maybe just a change to help them defend versus potential tower rushes. It's just an extra 6 seconds that you get your Glaive Throw out to help deal with the momentum of them overwhelming you at the start if they do a tower rush.
I would say yes to this because we don't see that many Glaive Throwers, so okay, but it's not a big change. But I gave it 4/10 in general because, ladies and gentlemen, it's because I'm excited about Talons. So we covered all of the races. What about the neutral? Neutral, it means Mercs, it means tavern heroes as well, and there is a lot of changes here, and the first three are combined and they are motivated by Grabby. So we are addressing abolish magic damage from this Troll Shadow Priest. It's all about the Troll Shadow Priest. So the most popular Mercamp has this troll that can heal and dispel, and when you're an orc player, you hate every map where it's easy to get this guy because he can just dispel wolves of Farseer. But before you say,
this is one of the biggest changes of the patch that people don't realize, is just how impactful that Shadow Priest is very often in the case. Having him pretty much fully negates like an enemy Farseer or an Archmage, or certainly helps a lot against an Archmage, because those water elementals are pretty tanky. So taking it down to 150 from 250 means that many more abolish magics you have to do, and you can't afford them that much on the Troll Priest, because you're only really supposed to get a few from him, and then he's completely out of mana.
I saw Grabby was completely right to eliminate this Forest Troll Shadow Priest. Let me tell you, there are other matchups than orcs versus human, for example, and in general. So remember that in human versus undead and human versus night elf, we will both expand. They buy a lot of mercs, including Troll Shadow Priest. And I like that, you know, on some maps you see mercs, and there are not that many maps when you see mercs, you know. I like in general those mercs to see them, and I understand that can be oppressive versus orcs. So I will explain you what is happening here. Abolish magic. So this damage is nerfed from 250 to only 150. By the way, 250 is the HP of the wolf. I think that's too big of a change, right? Because then people say, okay, should I really buy it in like undead versus human? I want to dispel as undead the water elementals with this guy. As human, I want to dispel beetles of Crypt Lord, and maybe for the gold price it's not worth it if the dispel is that small, and people will stop playing this priest. Probably not, because
I'm not very good on math, but is it like a 37.5% nerf? Is that what it is? Taking it from 250 to 150, which is pretty significant. Although it seems even more than that, to be honest with that, because it's almost halved, isn't it, really? If you think that's 250 to 125, that would be halved. So it's effectively halved. I guess 37.5% sounds about right then in that regards. So that's pretty significant for sure.
Okay, but I think it's just too much, and I'll address it later. Troll Shadow Priest stock delay from one.
If Glaive Thrower build time was 20 seconds, would they even be used? It really kind of depends on the momentum of the patch and the pacing, because there was a time, and I can't really remember specifically when that was. It's got to be a few years ago back now, maybe longer, because that's just how time works. But I remember Echo Isles being a heat spot for this particular strategy, where Night Elves, and even Night Elves versus Night Elves, so they were starting to basically make Keeper of the Grove and Priestess of the Moon, and they might have an archer or a huntress or two, but the rest of the units would be like glaive throwers. Like building one glaive thrower is odd, but this was a period of time where they were building like 4 or 5, 6 or whatever they could fit in. So you got to be careful, because you could go back to that stage. It's pretty funny, but they were packing it. I think they obviously got some sort of significant instant damage to their, like the way their damage worked, instead of it sort of having a delay or a projectile where it could potentially miss and do like half the damage. It was like, I think, changed so that it would basically hit for full impact on the target, which made a much bigger difference, and basically it made them front load a lot more damage, so they could squish units with a bit of micro.
120 to 180 seconds. And guys, this is genius. This is like the best idea that Grabby had, because at 2 minutes, so 120 seconds, it's when heroes are out from the altar, you know, the normal build. So basically, because of that, you creep the first camp, maybe the Mercamp, or maybe just pull the Mercamp to get access to the crypts without creeping it, and then you have the troll immediately. But if you change it to 3 minutes, so this extra 60 seconds, Farseer actually can do something harassing, and then you can stop human from buying the priest by you being there. So I think this is genius, and I love this change. Troll Shadow Priest stock replacement. Replacement, it means if you buy one priest, then how long you wait for another one. And this is the problem. If you make it too long, like people stop buying this priest in Undead versus Human and Human versus Night Elf. So yes, that's a big buff for Orc, small buff for the Undead, and yes, nerf for the big nerf for the Human, because Human works with Brilliance Aura with this. But it's in general, the question is, do you like to see those mercs? And I would say yes, but they are too strong versus Orc, yes, so we can tune down them a little.
Yeah,
okay, now
I agree with that one. I'm not too like on board to change too much else. I don't know, the Rifleman's needed a nerf. You'd have to like consider more with the pro players with that. But something like this is a bit more significant. Should the Shadow Priest be nerfed? Yeah, I think he's actually pretty insanely strong. That's the reason why he almost always gets picked. But should he be nerfed this much? No. I think with most nerfs, do something between 10 to 25% at best. and then see how the feedback goes, see how the game goes. If it still needs a further nerf, wait till another patch and then give it a stronger nerf after that. If you're already nerfing it by 10 to 25%, that's a lot more than it was currently, which was 0%. So always do a light touch when you're doing nerfs and buffs, generally speaking.
Change to Panda Bravo Fire this initial area, and there is a small buff to like how the numbers are. And Don Dalore made this sketch, and it's basically it's combining the old Bravo Fire. So this like big shape is a old Bravo Fire, in the middle this smaller shape is the new Bravo Fire, right? So it was like the big.
I missed the old Breath of Fire.
And basically, this change is that I think that the current Bravo Fire will be like a little bit thicker at the start, you know. So it's like very small change, but it's very annoying if you miss units. So it's going to be like basically it's a very small buff. But I like this because if you use Bravo Fire from the close distance, you are not going to miss that much. We have a hero change, Beastmaster starting strength from 22 to 24. I like this. You don't see Beastmaster that often. And it's also small intensive for Nidal with Talons, because Beastmaster is the second hero. Beastmaster, you know, it's +2 damage because he has a strength hero. He has more HP, more rhythm. It's a small change. I like it.
That'll be +4 damage, actually. Unless I'm completely wrong on this. No, maybe not. But it also helped effectively give him a little bit more health and health regen, which does work for that old school strategy. He was talking about it earlier. Do you remember? They would just flood the board with basically stuff to protect the Talons. So the Talons would be at the back, and then you have like Demon Hunter, Beastmaster, and Pocket Factory from the Goblin Tinker. Just a whole bunch of summons and just things just in the way. So if you wanted to get to the stuff at the back, you just had to go all the way around all of this nonsense that was just cluttering your space.
And ladies and gentlemen, it matters for Night Elf and humans a little bit. Orc will never buy Beastmaster. The same with go with Undead. But yes, it can develop this Talon strategy, and you know, maybe people try to play Beastmaster first, which is very interesting. So yes, I like it. And now we need to address elephant in the room. Dark Ranger Life Drain, ladies and gentlemen, and Dark Ranger in general, because, you know, Blizzard made this PTR just to address Dark Ranger and do some hot fixes, but then, you know, Grubby chipped in with some other changes, and the other content creators followed.
Damn you, Grubby! I think this is honestly a sensible change. The Dark Ranger definitely needed to be nerfed, but it's such a light nerf, in my opinion. But it's like a good nerf. It's like a... It feels more rewarding for the player to move outside of the Dark Ranger's life drain and then have it actually dissipate, rather than have to run 5 miles and still have it not dissipate. It's kind of crazy sometimes how far you have to run. It's like, oh, it's still going. I guess you have to like click a few extra more pixels. That's more effort than I was expecting to have to put in just to get outside of this stupid thing, which I've already run like 15 meters away from. So I think I agree with this. It's still dirt cheap at 35 mana. And the cast range, tether range business makes it much better for both players, I think, in regards to actual balance and counterplay.
And, you know, Dark Ranger is a pretty controversial subject, but guys, because we had this more time, there is more data from the Super League. And let me tell you, Dark Ranger strategy is not owning in the Super League. Dark Ranger is getting hard counter. The creator of Dark Ranger on Pro Level, Infi, is not playing Dark Ranger that much. That being said, I understand that on lower MMR or medium MMR where I play, Dark Ranger can be pretty oppressive. So, let's check the changes. Dark Ranger Life Drain mana cost from 25 to 35. I think is the wrong approach to nerfing Dark Ranger. If you are tower rushing, your mana will be high anyway, right? And if you are creeping with Dark Ranger and you try to make like Dark Ranger Pit Lord work, which I love, ladies and gentlemen, then definitely you are nerfing not tower rush, but you are nerfing this like exotic strategy that like nobody plays on Pro Level, but it's so cool. Viewers on my stream, they love it when I make a fake Pit Lord. So I would basically keep it at 25 mana. It's not dominating on Pro Level. One thing I can understand, this Life Drain Tether range. Tether is like the leash that you put on enemy hero, and basically with this nerf, it means that enemy hero can just run away a little bit and get out of the life drain ability.
Good.
Why I say ability to be a little bit, because Dark Ranger life drain cast range is going to be buffed from 500 to 600, and you know this leash range from 800 to 700 nerf, but look at this. So if this goes live, the opponent hero, if you cast from the full distance, because you know on Pro Level they would like try to position Dark Ranger closer to the enemy hero, but on Pro Level they just on like lower level or mid level they just cast from the maximum distance, and opponent goes a little bit and it breaks, right? So I do agree that this leash range can be quite oppressive, and leash range doesn't help with creeping. So if I have one ask to Blizzard, guys, Dark Ranger is exotic, Dark Ranger is amazing. Mana is not addressing tower rushes. Tower rushes, they don't work well on pro level. And let me tell you one thing, those two other changes, okay, but leave it at 25 mana. That's what makes Dark Ranger fun. You can creep so much.
You can clearly tell Soul Lake Man loves playing Dark Ranger so much. I feel like this is one of the lightest ways you could nerf her, and it's also one of the most sensible ways. So it's like such a milk toast way of dealing with her. It's nothing extreme. She's still basically completely fine. It doesn't make her like completely unplayable now, but each to their own.
It feels so good. And if you don't believe me because I'm biased, listen to Back to Warcraft. This guy is casting Warcraft for like 15 years, so he knows what he's talking about.
Infi gets destroyed by life. The Dark Ranger era on pro level seems over, seems figured out. Mountain King looked a lot.
Well, there's your problem, right? What do you have at the top left? It's a Demon Hunter. Perhaps heroes like the Dark Ranger are absolutely fine. It's just some heroes are a little bit too good that people don't pick anything other than them. Such as the Demon Hunter. Captain Boring. If you maybe make it so that some heroes like the Demon Hunter aren't quite so effective at what it is that they do, that the players actually have more of an inspiration to, I don't know, choose another hero other than the Demon Hunter 85% of the time in all matches, then maybe that would help.
Better. And while Night Elves almost looked hopeless for a long time against Mass Air, against tower pushes with this Dark Ranger, they're dominating now almost. Since Moon introduced the world to Demon Hunter first and not playing Warden first anymore, the Night Elf stonks against human through the roof.
Very well said, Neo, and he was talking about results from the Super League. So Infi versus Lai. Look at this. When he played Dark Ranger first, 2
Fucking
losses.
hell.
When he played M.
That's what I'm talking about again. Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter. What second hero should I get? Should I get Pando? That was normally what you used to get quite often with Naga. Now I'll just get Naga. Naga. Oh, it's the same bloody thing over and over.
Okay, 1 win, 1 lose. Afterwards, Infi played versus Moon. The series ended 3-2 for Moon, but again, Infi decided to not play Dark Ranger.
I mean, at least Moon's got some inspiration to try something slightly different. Albeit in 5 of the games, 4 Demon Hunters appear, but at least he tried a little bit harder.
And this is Super League when it matters most. Of course, Dark Ranger was exotic in Human Mirror. Nobody plays Dark Ranger in Human Mirror. Infi versus Sok. It's not happening that we see some Dark Ranger there. Versus...
And Human Mirror absolutely has the same issue. I mean, all the races kind of have this issue, right? But Human Archmage, because the other heroes aren't very particularly effective at actually, like, creeping... On specific maps, Mountain King can be viable because with enough militia and such, and the creep camps being close enough, you can pump him up to level 3, and then he becomes a lot more accessible. Getting to level 3 is pretty much like the big power step for most. If you don't play Warcraft 3, or if you're new to Warcraft 3, get your hero to level 3, pick a level 2 version of your ability, level 2 Water Elemental, level 2 Feral Spirit, level 2 whatever. It's going to make a big difference between your level 1 and your level 2. There's a reason why getting to level 3 is so important.
Nobody plays Dark Ranger in Human Mirror. Infi versus Sok. It's not happening that we see some Dark Ranger there. Versus Undead, yes, sometimes we see Dark Ranger, but it's only to counter Lich first opener, and the meta in Undead versus Human is, of course, Archmage versus Criplord. So, like, keeping Dark Ranger, playable, it means that we can see sometimes Tavern Hero versus Undead, and the King of Undead of Humans, Fortitude, never basically plays Tavern Heroes. Yes, guys, those are the numbers, and if you want to make Dark Ranger less oppressive, keep those 2 changes on the bottom about the range. But the mana cost needs to stay 25 to keep Dark Ranger interesting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the controversial part, my changes. So how I would like to see this PTR look like in the final version. I would reverse the nerf to rifles in order to keep, a 1 base playable versus Night Elf and Undead. And if you want to nerf Pala Rifle, nerf long rifles research time. increase from 30 to 45 seconds. So in Pala Rifle versus Orc, usually Orc is pressuring, even with Naga second. And when the Blood Mage is out, when long rifle range is out, then, you know, it's much better to even chase the Orc in the middle of the map. If you make this longer, you know, this upgrade going up, then it's going to be worse for Pala Rifle players to immediately push back. You can make it even 60 seconds, 45 seconds is, I think, is a good thing to test. Another change that I would make is like from these exotic, interesting changes. If you care about oppressive strategies, like, oh, Dark Ranger is so oppressive, what about all of those Orcs and, you know, other races that just use Mass Tower? Cloud is an ability of Dragonhawk Raiders that nobody uses, basically, and put it on tier 2. If somebody's making Mass Towers versus you, that never happens on pro level, by the way, then you can use it on tier 2, like. It will be interesting to see some Dragonhawks with this Cloud upgrade, Cloud disabled towers, basically, for some time, and it's a channeling spell, so it's easy to play around it. This is quality of life for humans, huh? And just a random change. Again, I'm not going big with changes. Nobody's buying Mechanical Critter. Mechanical Critter is super slow. People that watch Grabby, they kill all of the critters on the map out of habit. But Mechanical Critter range of vision, give Mechanical Critter Sentry Ward vision, 1200. Nobody's using it, so maybe it will motivate some people to actually buy it.
I agree with both of these changes. I feel like they're not going to have too much impact on the game and anything. They might make it so that people might actually potentially consider buying these things once in their lives. But yeah, Cloud being versus Orc, that would be a big nerf to Orc with their fast tech in tier 2 reinforced defenses, which can be absolutely a nightmare to deal with. So some sort of way to counterplay it would be absolutely on board. And Orc, when they get tier 2, they have Ensnare. They typically get Raiders. So they do actually have an answer to Dragonhawk Riders trying to like cloud their base. So it's not like they're super hard countered by Cloud being tier 2 that I can think of. So I would be on board with that change completely. And the Mechanical Critter, why not? I don't think people are going to still build them because of this change, but I certainly wouldn't hurt.
And you know, you may say Soul is overbuffed. Put it like that and see if pro players will buy it. I don't think so, but it would be funny to see this critter like seeing like everything wherever it is. With Orc, I would keep all of the changes and I would add something on top of it. So, Kodo Beast Devour ability now deals 10 damage per second instead of 5. So it basically you digest faster and it addresses, it's the most important versus Night Elf. And as Grabius often saying, you know, that Night Elves are very strong, but you know, to the contrary, now like...
That's a difficult one to do. I think versus creeps, you could double the amount of time. So, say for example, it does 5 damage. Perhaps you could triple it or quadruple it versus creeps to devour creeps quicker, because it's not very viable right now to devour a creep, right, as an Orc player. Perhaps it would end up being too strong that way, so you'd have to sort of get the balance right. But as for devouring an enemy unit, I feel like if you devour an abomination, it could take a really long time, but that's kind of the counter for you basically getting rid of a 4-food unit that costs 240 gold or whatever. So I don't think you should necessarily change Kodo Beast Devour damage. It's only versus creeps, I think, you can make it more viable.
Ladies and gentlemen, Night Elf versus Orc is not looking good in Super League because Lin came back from his retirement, the king of Orcs, and he's winning versus everybody. But you still think that Orc needs more buffs? I would address Orc versus Night Elf with giving Kodo Beast like more damage per second when they are digesting, and maybe it'll motivate people to open with a Kodo instead of a Raider, you know? It's not a big change. And now...
I think the Witch Doctors, the Stasis Ward and Healing Ward, like, in 4 versus 4 RT and in 3 for all, the way they're balanced is perfectly fine. If anything, quite strong in some cases, because those scenarios allow you to sort of get those units and keep onto them and not be so pressured like you would be in 1 versus 1 to always be moving, always be doing something. But in 1 versus 1, it feels like they just need to be completely rewired. So it's such a difficult thing to do. Do you just leave the Witch Doctor as it is, or do you try to balance and change it completely, which could completely break things? It's a tough one.
Now, I would make Witch Doctors a bit better. So I'm basically buffing by a lot because it's a radius. It's like ordering a pizza. If you order a pizza with bigger radius, it's going to be much bigger pizza. So Stasis Trap, you know, their adept ability, because as I mentioned, Witch Doctors on level 1, they suck, you know, without any upgrades. And on this level 2, the Sentry or the Stasis Trap is so-so. So I would buff it a little bit. So, you know, this detection radius, detonation radius, I would just buff it. Not by much, but I think that it's something interesting to make Witch Doctors work a little bit better. And it can be too strong. Needs testing is just an idea to make them interesting. For the Undeads, who am I to, like, again, I'm not going to, like, say, oh, Undeads, they need to, like, not have their ghoul buffs. Again, I'm afraid Undeads going to be the winner of this patch again, but whatever. But yes, what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is instead of making Frostworm build time faster, I would make Boneyard build time faster, you know, reduced, and by even 20 seconds, and you are not going to like destroy 4v4, because in 4v4 people make a lot of Frostworms. In 1v1 people make like 1-2 Frostworm, that's much. So you don't, so basically faster Boneyard is pretty good in my opinion. Again, we don't see Necromancers at all, and you play Necromancers on one base, then you never have gold. So I would, the idea that they have to make like cheaper Necromancers, but a little bit by 10. We don't want to have Necromancers in every game. And Dread,
I think this is completely fair.
Lord is an interesting hero. We don't see Dreadnought as the third hero that often. We don't see Dreadnought as the first hero. People are excited about Dreadnought. Give him the same treatment as you give to Beastmaster. So
we need to get to a point where we can just drastically change the Dreadlord and turn him into, I wouldn't say a Demon Hunter, more like a Blade Master. He needs to be that kind of overpowered carry hero. And Human don't have it as well. I always wanted Human to have Admiral Proudmoore as like an agility sword swinging character. So, Dreadlord, it's time for you to turn into an agility hero.
+2 damage and +2 main stat basically. About the Night Elves, again, I'm a simple man. I see a unit very rarely, then I want to buff this unit a little bit. So Fairy Dragons, I think they have problem with survivability, because if you play them versus humans have some rifles, and you know, they die pretty quickly. Later, of course, flying machines. So I would give them bonus armor, more bonus armor when they're in this like anti-caster big glowing ball. And the same with Frostworms, I would make Chimera Roost build time reduced from 80 to 60 seconds. And you know, Chimeras, with all due respect, they suck, you know. When I see Chimeras in professional level, they usually disappoint, so we are not going to touch any Chimeras, you know, stats, just how quick you can access to your first Chimera. Yes, to address the Troll Priest, I'm keeping 2 grabby changes. Maybe you can, maybe I will actually change it.
Thank you for the sub there, Evan.
From 250 to, let's say, 215. So this dispel, if you can really want to nerf it to like not one-shot the wolf, make it 215. So
215 sounds odd. Does 220 sound better? Otherwise, 200 is more flat.
Keep it in undead versus human. The stock delay is perfect. This is perfect. I love it. I'll just remove this replenishment. So this gives me hope that in Human versus Night Elf and Human versus Undead will still see some mercs. It's not going to be very repetitive. And yes, a Breath of Fire I would keep, but yes, Dark Ranger, I would basically remove this change with mana cost, and I would keep 2 others. And ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 things that I would...
How could it be that bad, though? 25 mana to 35 mana. It's so insignificant.
like you to remember, because I think they're very cool.
You might try to catch me back where I say about you shouldn't have nerfs much more than 25%, and you could say, oh, 25 to 35 mana. Well, actually, that's at least a 30% nerf or something like that. Yeah, but with this one, it's so slow. It used to be 50, by the way. It used to be 50 mana. And 50 mana was pretty cheap back then, but it was expensive enough that you wouldn't be able to spam the thing. When it went down to 25, it was pretty much, you could just... Because remember, when you cast this thing, assuming that you get to channel it for up to 8 seconds, even 5 seconds, assuming you get at least 5 seconds, you're regenerating mana whilst you're draining life. It's not like you cut off your mana regeneration. So you've already got like 10 mana back by the time you've cast the spell or whatnot. So really, it's only costing 15 mana and stuff like that. So you've got to take that thing into account.
This master got +2 strength, Dreadnought got +2 strength, give it to the Pit Lord. You never see Pit Lord. Pit Lord is amazing. +2 strength, better second hero. Interesting. And
never change the Pit Lord cleaving attack. Keep it as high as possible. He's such a fun hero. Never change. I 100% disagree with this. Even if it's a 1% nerf, I 100% disagree with this. Pit Lord needs to be the fun, gimmicky guy with that giant, juicy cleave. It's so fun to watch.
also, you know, people, they like to build big Pit Lords, and I understand that Pit Lord level 5 can be crazy, so that's why this Pit Lord cleaving attack splash damage, I would change from 40, 65 to 90, and I would basically move 5%. So I would give him 5% more splash damage on level 1.
No, I completely disagree with that. I miss the days where I think Soul wants more fun sort of days, right? Remember when humans had their Orb of Fire changed to be +10 damage? Yeah. Playing the Pit Lord with 5 or so orbs with +10, so they have +50 damage. That was good. That was fun. We need more stuff like that, more fun, gimmicky things. Would pro players still do that? they're not going to do that every game. They're still going to go bloody Demon Hunter. They're still going to go Death Knight. They're still going to go Archmage. But it actually made it so you could do that stuff, and it would actually be pretty impactful. And heck, it could be a little bit overpowered, but that's the kind of the fun of games, isn't it? It's like whenever you're playing a MOBA or something, you want to kind of get that super overpowered carry hero, but you have to build into it. You have to make it work. You have to earn it.
5% less on the level 5, and in the middle level 3 I would keep it the same. That would make interesting to make Pit Lord, you know, as a second hero. You never see Pit Lord in pro games. +2 strength is not going to kill anybody, and this cliff is like basically reducing level 5 impact and making Pit Lord easier to creep on level 1. And I would give also +2 strength to Trinker. Why not give the Knight of this, like, oh my god, we can make Beastmaster +2 strength, Tinker +2 strength, and also my Talons are going to be up earlier on master ability. The Knights are going to be excited.
I think one of the best ways to make Tinker more viable is to simply make an alteration to his Pocket Factory. It would be simply like, it costs like, let's just say it costs 125 mana. It might be 125 mana or 150 mana. I'm pretty sure it's 125. And it, you know, it's slow. It takes 30 seconds or whatever. Why don't you just reduce the mana cost, but just also reduce the power of the ability itself? But obviously it's cooldown, so it's got a quicker cooldown. So you're making it more sort of viable, but not super overpowered in its own right. So you can pop down a few of them if you need to, or if you're creeping quickly, you don't have a big 15-second gap before you can put another Pocket Factory down. You just put a lesser version down. I think I prefer stuff like that where there's like lesser versions of it, but they're cheaper and they've got quicker cooldowns. You just get to play the ability more. I don't like having long cooldowns. Ever played Emphos? Problem with Emphos is your ability cooldown's like 2 minutes long in that game. It's like miserable.
About Talons. So yes, guys, that's about it, and I don't have hotline to Blizzard, but again, it's going to be quite interesting if any of those changes will be addressed by Blizzard. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Warcraft 3, in my opinion, should be less than chess, so like giga super perfectly balanced, even if we are going to play only one strategy, you know, per race. In my opinion, it should be a lot of the strategies open, and of course, meta on pro level is important, but you know, why to kill a fun strategy like Dark Ranger, for example? Let me know what you think in the comments, and yes, I'm glad that I made this video. It's probably not that good, but it's something. I'm going to link a post in the description to the Blizzard forum with my feedback, and guys, yes, that was all Ape for Warcraft 3 PTR. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, comment for more, and see you in the next one. Bye!
There you go. Check out Soul 8 Man. He streams on Twitch as well as obviously he's doing his YouTube business over here. Check the links in the video description below. Good video. I enjoyed it. Definitely some stuff to take on board with it. I think I agree with most of it, except for the Dark Ranger stuff. You know, you can't let her get away with too much. Otherwise you'll get an ego. Right. Let's see if we got time to do a cheeky little update or react to the Stormgate. Got this one as well to do. I've got the playback speed on that as normal. There's your boy Timmy. So Stormgate actually got a new patch. I think it was mostly done by people that were more dedicated to the game in the community than the actual developers themselves. Perhaps the story will be untold within this video about Stormgate's failure, a 30-year in the making. But I was just looking at the Stormgate on Steam, and the first, most recent post about it is play StarCraft 2 instead. I think that's how a lot of people just can summarize it. But let's find out why this was 30 years in the making a failure.
I've been in the game industry for 30 years now. I started my career at Activision Santa Monica and worked on things like Return to Zork, MechWarrior 2, lead another startup after that, which was called Savage Entertainment, Star Wars, James Bond, Transformers, Scooby-Doo. After that, had a chance to work at Electronic Arts and Sony Santa Monica briefly before finally landing at Blizzard Entertainment.
So you worked practically in every single major.
Isn't there a slight problem where their main protagonist looks confused? Like she almost looks cross-eyed. Like, what is she even looking at? What is she even doing? Is she thinking? Is she glass-eyed? Do you know what I mean? Like, 1,000-yard stare going on there. I don't know what's happening with that face.
Company in the world.
Tim Morton's resume is indeed very impressive. He worked at EA, Activision, and of course Blizzard Entertainment, where he was production director on the legendary StarCraft 2. He's the man who helped...
It's only 5 years in Blizzard. I thought it was a lot longer than that. Huh.
Where he was production director on the legendary StarCraft 2.
So yeah, I think that was a point that some of you guys made when I reacted to previous Stormgate videos. You guys were going on about, like, he's not even really been part of the StarCraft 2. At least the initial beta alpha phase, which is effectively the important part where the game is really being created by those that love it and want it to work. It's just someone popping in and basically middle managing it. So I think we can see some sort of themes why there's some issues here.
He's the man who helped ship one of the greatest strategy games of all time. So when he left to start his own company, Frostshine Studios, the world took notice. He raised over $40 million to build Stormgate, a game he pitched as the savior of the real-time strategy genre. He was the expert, the know-it-all with the perfect resume, the man with the plan. But then Stormgate released and basically failed.
Yeah, it's like, this is where we're at the moment. It's not quite as bad. Well, it is actually, it's actually worse, but it's like, come here. You just, oh, it does that thing, doesn't it? Where you minimize it enough that it just disappears completely. There you go. 48. So it's dropped a little bit, a little bit, 31 to 48. But, you know, these are still good numbers compared to some that I've seen where it was down to like 26 or 16. So the new patch has at least got more people on board. Not compared to this. This was really popping off back then.
Immediately, and that's what I covered in my previous video. However, one thing I kept asking myself after is, why did Tim Morton fail so spectacularly when he had this vast experience building successful games in the past?
So we did some Transformers games, some James Bond games, a Star Wars game.
To find the answer, we have to look past StarCraft. We have to...
48% is relatively a high number for a flop. Yeah, I guess it's a flop mostly in the sense that they had such a high expectations. So that could actually be worse. But there's enough people that were inspired by the whole theme of what it was trying to do that they kind of give it a break. There's people that hate it for saying it was going to be the next StarCraft 2, the next Warcraft 3, do you know what I mean? The next big RTS. And there's people that want to give it a chance and say, guys, look, give it time. This could still be the next big real-time strategy. So that's why it's pretty much smack in the middle. It's quite dividing people by the, you know, one way or the other. High expectations and insane amounts of money. He needs more. You haven't got a business, have you? Starbucks in California? If you've got a business in California, you know, maybe you've got a spare 10 mil or 5 mil at least that you could throw his way and then, you know, he can use it on the next project. Try that.
Go back to 1997.
Well, before I just go on it, they had such amazing funding and trust. It's California again. That place is insanely expensive. They didn't have to try to make this work in California. They could have created a place elsewhere in America, I'm sure. There's various other states where perhaps they get bigger tax breaks. But it's the sort of ego of trying to make it in the area. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't be able to do that. It's just to say that you've got to have a little bit of realism, right? So if I'm going to go to London, I might be expecting to spend over £1 million for a house, unless I turn up on a dinghy. But you've got to take everything with a little bit of realism. If you're going in that sort of area, you're going to expect to pay a little bit more, right?
1997 was a great year for gaming. Diablo defined the modern action RPG genre. GoldenEye 007 rewrote the rules for console shooters. Final Fantasy VII made storytelling a cinematic experience. And Age of Empires brought real-time strategy to the masses. It was a year of giants, innovation, and games that would shape decades.
Wow, the stone, the trees, the gold. I remember these towers. I've seen Age of Empires 2 so much that I actually kind of forgot what Age of Empires 1 looks like a little bit. It is just obviously a much more basic version of Age of Empires 2. Age of Empires 2 just really nailed it, didn't it? It just perfected it. It's one of those deals where sometimes the sequel is just perfect. It just takes everything from the first game and just makes everything perfect about it. Everything that wasn't quite right, that wasn't quite there, nails it.
Of design. And right in the middle of that creative explosion stood Heavy Gear. Heavy Gear was Tim Morton's directorial debut. After Activision lost the license to the beloved MechWarrior franchise, they needed a successor, and they put their veteran team from MechWarrior 2 onto a new IP, Heavy
Just got Thanos.
Gear. The goal was to build a game that was a spiritual successor to their previous titles. The marketing machine went into overdrive. Before release, Heavy Gear was hyped as the mech killer, with a richer universe and new weapons, and a much more realistic combat environment. Heavy Gear was the game that would make MechWarrior fans forget the Battletech universe. It was a new game from a veteran team, hyped as the successor to a legend. Does this sound familiar? It kinda sounds familiar to me. And the result?
The #1 selling 3D combat simulator of all time. Yeah, coming to you from StarCraft 2, the developers of StarCraft 2, or the people that worked on Warcraft 3.
The GamePro magazine in their March 1998 issue, for example, ends the review with,
Man, they're so based. Good old days. They knew how to make a magazine back then. When you used to actually appeal to your audience rather than modernity. You got big beefy guy shooting a gun, looking cool, and there's a lady on a strip pole in the background, scantily clad.
Magazine in their March 1998 issue, for example, ends the review with, ultimately it's nothing more than a disappointing MechWarrior knockoff. Computer Gaming World titled their review Jammed Gears and noted, Heavy Gear just doesn't look like a finished product. I'd love to see a fully cooked version of this game because parts of it show great potential, but as it stands, it's still a bit too chewy to enjoy. And they gave the game a 2.5 out of 5. And finally, we have Computer Game Strategy Plus saying, what's bad about Heavy Gear is inexcusable coming from a veteran team of game designers. They go on to criticize the
How's the webcam at the top right in that? Shall I move it back to the bottom right? Let me know as you're watching the video. I'm not sure if it's in the way too much.
Innovative gameplay, weapon balance, the paper-thin story, wasted potential, and finally conclude, the result is a game every bit as inspired, but mediocre as what they have been doing all along. 2 out of 5 stars. Heavy Gear was a rough first project for Tim Morton.
What's this guy's accent, by the way? It's project and mediocre. Trying to work out where he's from.
A veteran team promising next generation hype, and then a product that doesn't live up to the promises. Was this just an accident or the start to a career-long pattern? After Heavy Gear, Morton founded his own studio, Savage Entertainment, where he was serving as both its CEO and producer. For a decade, his studio specialized in porting big console hits to the PlayStation Portable. Results were a mass
Aunt May got yeeted.
In porting big console hits to the PlayStation Portable.
Yeet.
The results were a masterclass in compromise.
What's up guys, this is TechRex and today I'm going to review another PSP game. This is Transformers the game for the PSP, and this game is just pretty much awful, I have to say. It's just an awful mistake by the people who made this game. I did manage to almost beat this game, however I just couldn't resist. The graphics, everything, it's just terrible.
Transformers the game.
I was waiting for him to say, I have been playing this game for 600 hours. It's awful. It sucks. The graphics are bad. I can't stand it, but I will beat it.
Heavily criticized by reviewers, GameSpot called it sheer drudgery with aching slow controls and cramped and ugly levels. And the sequel, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? Somehow even worse. One reviewer called this PSP port utter crap and one of the worst games on the system. Its most infamous feature, in a game about Transformers, you cannot transform. You're kidding, right? A Transformers game where you cannot transform? Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. IGN labeled the PSP port one of the worst performing games I've seen this year.
That looks clunky.
With a terrible frame rate. Even
Yeah.
worse, the game's entire point, co-op multiplayer, was completely ripped out.
Playing was frustrating, awkward.
It looks like if you go to punch, the character's going to like wait probably 0.3 seconds before they even start the animation. And then the animation's going to be like twice as long as it needs to be before it actually lands the punch. It looks like one of those games. I just looking at that feels like it's painful to play.
And honestly just felt terrible.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, a cut-down version with an unstable frame rate, clunky controls, and the entire single-player campaign missing. The pattern was clear: get the contract, ship a product, and cut the features, the polish, and the soul to hit the deadline. Now, to be fair, maybe some of this is explained by the PlayStation Portable's technical limitations or tight budgets from the publishers, a kind of necessary evil in the world of contract porting. But it could also be a pattern of missed potential, feature cutting, and compromised execution.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the camera angle. It could be because I'm biased towards like the isometric, but it kind of feels like a Warcraft 3 or StarCraft 2 custom game.
Some PSP ports done by other studios were doing well after all. Morton's next big move was landing at Electronic Arts as the senior development director to reboot the legendary Command & Conquer series. He had big plans for the games, some of which sound oddly
looks
familiar
really
for those
tall
who
there.
followed Stormgate's story.
But as you just mentioned, the key new innovation here is that the content doesn't stop at launch. Really, launch is the beginning of a continuing stream of new updates. We're going to introduce new factions, new maps, new game modes over time, and eventually we'll go back using this same platform and revisit the Tiberium universe, the Red Alert universe, and even some new fictions that haven't existed before in Command & Conquer.
Alright, this sounds very ambitious.
It does indeed sound very ambitious, and as it turned out, it was far too ambitious. After several rounds of testing,
I feel like the face just doesn't quite believe him.
And Conquer.
He's like, trust me, bro.
Alright,
and he's like, yeah, I'm not so sure.
Sounds very ambitious.
It does indeed sound very ambitious, and as it turned out, it was far too ambitious. After several rounds of testing, the project was abruptly cancelled and the studio working on the game, Victory Games, was shut down. EA claimed it was due to the poor reception during alpha testing, and the player feedback was indeed brutal. Testers were frustrated with the shift to a free-to-play model, the lack of a traditional Command & Conquer campaign, and a progression system that seemed optimized for microtransactions. But according to the people working on the game, the problems ran far deeper than just bad alpha impressions. An anonymous developer dismissed EA's public explanation as total BS, blaming the collapse on internal politics and dysfunction.
Is that the politically correct way of putting it, or...?
And a postmortem from another dev revealed issues that fall squarely on the shoulders of the senior development director. First, the priorities were completely backwards. Instead of building a fun RTS, the production was obsessed with the business model. The developer noted bluntly that...
I mean, well, this is EA, right? So, you know, that's the catch. You get the money from the big corporation EA, but they're gonna wanna cut.
Money talks and bullshit walks. Second, there was a complete failure of leadership to pick a lane. The project was torn between being a StarCraft clone and a classic Command & Conquer game, with leadership allowing competing design philosophies to persist right up until cancellation. And finally, there was a delusional timeline. Just like we saw with Stormgate, the leadership was preparing to ship a product that was fundamentally broken. The game was officially 2 months away from open beta.
This is starting to look a lot like Warcraft 3 Reforged. At the time we were cancelled, the game was about 2 months away from open beta. Do you remember, honestly, like, I can't remember if it was the previous... I think it was still like the BlizzCon like before Warcraft 3 released. Because the year before they were like... They showed off like more of the Stratham stuff. The Cullen of Stratham. And then the year afterwards, they were basically talking about the work they were recently doing effectively on the Night Elf reforged models and stuff like that. Like Night Elf and Undead, I think weren't even like playable properly in the game. Like just a few months beforehand. It's hard to remember now because it's like 5 or 6 years ago now, but it's something along those lines where within just a few months of Warcraft, because we didn't get the ladder properly, did we? It didn't come out with ladder, didn't have custom campaigns. It was missing a whole bunch of stuff that it was supposed to have. So they didn't even have they barely had the races up and running, the playable races. Isn't that crazy?
But in reality, it should have been 2 more years. Now, at this point, it's definitely starting to look more and more like a pattern. Heavy Gear could be written off as inexperienced, the PSP ports could be blamed on budgets, but Command & Conquer was different. It was a well-funded and successful franchise, and Tim was positioned close enough to the wheel that his choices and oversight mattered. So, is every project led by Tim Morton destined to fail? Well, it's a bit...
That looks like the guy... I mean, this was reminding me a bit of Warhammer. And then...
Every project led by Tim Morton...
This guy's kind of reminded me of, like, the film 300. The guy that's on the chariot talking about how his arrows will blot out the sun. He's got all the choppers, like, flying above him.
Destined to fail? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that.
My life for ire.
Yeah.
StarCraft 2, the
Tennis was
crown
cool.
jewel of RTS, the benchmark against which all other strategy games are measured. And for Tim Morton, this is the shield, the bulletproof vest he wears to deflect from the failures of Heavy Gear and Command & Conquer.
I ever made.
The first thing I would say is that Blizzard Entertainment.
To be fair, Legacy of the Void was a big success. It wrapped up a decade-long storyline and sits at a respectable 88 on Metacritic.
It wrapped it up in a sort of same way that, like, J.J. Abrams kind of wraps up a lot of his films with the Star Wars. You know, he had to do some damage control, but the stories and the endings didn't necessarily make sense. Like, Kerrigan essentially becomes Space Jesus, doesn't she, or something along the lines at the end of... Spoiler if you haven't played Legacy of the Void, but she basically becomes like Space Jesus. It's like, that's one way to end it. Don't know that's necessarily the way you should end it, but it is one way to sort of tie things up.
If you listen to Tim Morton, it sounds like he was a big part of that success. But look at the timeline and
She was hot,
you get
so
a
it's
bit
fine.
of a different story.
Yeah, she was big and
2's development
gold.
started all the way back in 2003 and it was publicly released in 2010. Then in 2013, the expansion pack Heart of the Swarm was released. And
Bruh, 2003. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, that's when Warcraft 3... Well, Warcraft 3 came out before then, obviously, but they pretty much would have finished up with Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne, and whatever they were doing in regards to that. And then that's it. What are we going to do next? StarCraft 2. There's a lot of time in the work. So we did get a good quality game from it. But it's what's maddening and crazy to me, and this is why it feels like it's better when I was younger. Basically because it was, but also because when I was younger, I got a lot of things within a shorter period of time. And I hadn't lived as long, so I hadn't noticed the stretch of time quite so long. So if you take, for example, I don't know, Warcraft 1 came out in 1994, right? Warcraft 2 came out like 1995. You had to wait a year for that. Then worst case scenario, Warcraft 3 comes out like 6 years later. I think it's 2001. So that really 6 years isn't that much for a whole game that's vastly different because the 3D element was vastly different from Warcraft 2. And you got so much with Warcraft 3. And then you think we had to wait till 2019 for Warcraft 3 Reforged. We haven't even had a Warcraft 4, right? So then StarCraft 2 was 2010, but 2010 was 16 years ago now. So what have we had since? It's just like, I had all the good stuff back in the 90s and early aughts, and it's just, that was when I was young as well at the same time. It's the way it's just lined up. I guess I was lucky in that regard.
And finally, the last expansion pack, Legacy of the Void, was released in
Warcraft 3 was 2002, was it? Wasn't it like, I feel like it was 2001. It must have been 2001, because I think I was playing it when I was 17, and I was 17 in 2001, because I was 16 when I was in the year 2000. So I think it was 2001.
15.
Could
Tim
be wrong,
Morton
though.
had joined the team just the year before that, in 2014. By the time he joined, all the units, the campaign structure, the entire creative vision was already set in stone. Tim was simply hired to get the game out the door. He wasn't the guy in charge of creative decisions or making the game exciting. That was Dustin Browder, that was Chris Metzen. A production director is essentially a project manager. He was the master of spreadsheets, Jira tickets, and resource allocation. His job wasn't make the game fun, his job was make the game shit.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's a fair point. He wasn't like the big buzz, the creative juice behind it. He was the middle guy who does the management and makes sure things run, but there's not much pizzazz going on there.
Once the game shipped and the visionaries moved on, we saw what happens when Tim...
Whoa, what the hell? Is that Dustin Browder on the left? He looks so young there.
And once the game shipped and the visionaries...
Yeah, look at him. It's Dustin Browder on the left. Man, that must have been Heroes of the Dorm. So yeah, that was the very early stages of Heroes, because that was the issue that Heroes of the Storm had a little bit, wasn't it? Is it wasn't really competitive enough that you could pop off like in League of Legends and Dota 2 where you could carry the team. You were supposed to have like a carry and then they'd just get like 13 kills and 1 death or something like that. Heroes of the Storm was very teamy, so then they laid into that a little bit and tried to make it work as you really got to work as a whole team. Everyone's one. Everyone is basically, the whole team is like one cohesive group. And that was around that time. Yeah, I remember that. Oh my gosh.
Moved on, we saw what happens when Tim is left holding the keys. We didn't get a bold new vision for StarCraft 3, we got Nova Covert Ops, a small-scale DLC that reused some of the existing assets. It was competent, but it wasn't a blockbuster. It didn't set...
I enjoyed it. I only played the first one because I got that for free as part of like promoting it, I suppose. But yeah, I think it was like a kind of a playable mini custom campaign, wasn't it?
The world on fire, and critically it failed to convince the higher-ups to invest more. To be fair, Blizzard at this time was a sinking ship, obsessed with chasing Overwatch money and microtransactions, but Tim did try to fight.
They had a good run, didn't they, with the Overwatch? Holy shit, the hype for Overwatch was insane. And then people would just unload. I mean, you don't even count over Hearthstone. Think just how insane Hearthstone was. That was a small team that worked on that. And the amount of money they must have raked in from all of the cards, all of the people playing Arena over and over. Crazy amounts of monies they must have pulled in on Hearthstone and Overwatch. So that during that sort of time period, they were like, holy shit, this microtransaction works. And in a fairness, and to be fair, people paid for it. So do you blame the player or the game? And in this case, Blizzard are the player, right? And they're playing the game, which is to unload microtransactions. I don't like microtransactions. I don't think many people would ever say they like them. I certainly don't like them because I come from an era where you used to just buy a game and that you got the game. You played it from beginning to end. You didn't need to put a coin in to, reach the last boss or achieve a key that can get you to the final door, but you have to pay $4.99 to do that. No, you just actually played the game. It was tough and you played the game and you enjoyed it. It was simple, and that's what I like. I'm a simple man. But microtransactions, holy shit, did they go crazy with them in Hearthstone and Overwatch. They really... I mean, what was the latest Blizzard game? Oh, yeah, Diablo Immortal. Holy shit. They went down a dark path, didn't they? They got away with it with Hearthstone and Overwatch. Hearthstone, because it was a brand new thing, and it was very enjoyable. So a lot of people didn't really notice or get too annoyed because they were effectively buying the cards, which people... They kind of didn't feel like it was like too predatory. After you've done like 4 or 5 Hearthstone expansions, then you start to notice it's very predatory because you're having to disenchant like all of your previous epic cards that you've worked hard for to get a fourth of the cost back to put towards buying one of the good cards in the new expansion. So it became noticeable then, and this was roughly around the time that Overwatch had been out for a couple of years as well. And obviously, you're like, okay, another skin, there's like 15 million sprays and all of this kind of shit. There's so much crap that you can collect in that game. And then obviously they went real full on mask off with Diablo Immortal and like 700% value, etc.
Reports confirm he pitched a new Warcraft RTS and even a Call of Duty strategy game.
I think Diablo 4, yeah. I don't even think Diablo 4 anything looked pretty. Do you know what I mean? It was grounded, it was realistic, and it looked fine for what it was. But I never felt like, oh, I really want that horse skin or that ugly looking gritty rogue set. I never felt like I wanted any of it. Not that I would buy it anyway, so I'm definitely not their customer in that regard. So appealing to me wouldn't necessarily work. But I looked at the shop on Diablo 4 and so I just thought it all looked ugly. So I don't know how much money they made on that. I guess people were still there to buy it though.
But he was shut down. Tim couldn't convince them that he had a vision worth backing, so frustrated he decided to leave Blizzard and build that vision himself. He was finally going to prove that he was more than just a manager. He was going to prove that RTS wasn't
cinematic.
dead.
All of their
it
cinematics
just needed
are good,
a genius to
cool.
save it.
There she is. Storm dead. These cartoon toy characters. It was too cartoony, but also it just looks so wokey, doesn't it?
Having the flexibility to take the time necessary to achieve quality. So I never want to be in a situation again where we have to hit a date at all costs. Like, it's important for ideas to have room. It's important to have the time to polish.
Spoiler alert, he hit the date at all costs. I already covered the disaster of the Stormgate launch in my previous video. Check the link in the description if you want the full autopsy.
This is a good video. I may have to have a sneak peek at that. You guys let me know in the comments below, obviously, if you want to see that too.
But for those who are new here, here's the Stormgate speedrun. Raised $40 million, promised the social RTS of the future, released a campaign that looked like a mobile game ad, exited early access with a game that was still very much incomplete and lacking polish, and averages 27 concurrent players and sits at a
18. See, they've gone up since that point.
Mixed rating on Steam. The only thing noteworthy that happened since I made that video is that the game received its first community update, adding a 2v2 ladder and 4 new units.
That's
As
the
the name
one.
implies, the patch wasn't made by the actual developers.
And that's what's crazy to me, is this is actually one of the most popular things I've heard about for Stormgate in a long time. And it was kind of mostly done by the community, which is possibly why it's popular, because they're on board with it already. But, you know, it says something, right?
It was stitched together by unpaid volunteers trying to keep the lights on in an empty building. We also need to look at the ticking clock on their balance sheet, the Silicon Valley Bank loan.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like War3 Champions and Warcraft 3. Like the Warcraft 3 ladder wasn't working, right? I'll go off the white screen for a second. The Warcraft 3 ladder, when it released in Reforged, I'm talking about, wasn't working properly. You didn't have custom campaigns, although not that War3 Champions had anything to do with custom campaigns, but you got Hive Workshop doing like all the custom campaigns in the background. Chronicles of the Second War, you could download that and get that to work on Warcraft 3 Chronicles of the Second War, because you have to download them as separate maps rather than be custom campaigns. So there was ways that the community came up with to sort of make things that were in the game work again that didn't before, but you had to sort of work around it. And that's what War3 Champions did with the ladder. They basically gave the community a place to go to play competitive games, and now they also do it with custom games as well over there. So, to be honest, the ladder is still way better than the actual ladder on Battle.net. The ladder on Battle.net, I think, is even still busted, and it's been fixed multiple times. Fixed. But it's not really. It's like, if it's fundamentally jank, then it still glitches like crazy, even at the best of times.
We also need to look at the ticking clock on their balance sheet, the Silicon Valley Bank loan. As a reminder, according to their 2024 financial report, the company drew down a $2 million venture debt loan in July 2024. While they secured an extension on the interest-only period following the early access launch, the grace period expired on November.
It's crazy. 2 million buys you just a year and a half, pretty much. So much money. I know that video game development is way more expensive now, and it will continue to get bigger and bigger because of the teams. But this is where indie developers really have a lovely niche, because they're passionate, small teams. Sometimes they're only one single developer, and they don't spend anywhere near 2 million to make a game that can make a lot more potentially.
30th, 2025. This implies that as of December 2025, the company started having to pay back the loan. And because they delayed repayment without moving the final due date, they likely compressed the entire loan balance into a 17-month window. In other words, they now face payments of over $125,000 per month, while having next to no income at all.
Ow.
Between the volunteers fixing the game and the bank demanding its money, there is a lot to worry about. So what is our visionary CEO doing? Well, he is busy posting on LinkedIn. Welcome to the Stormgate Post-Mortem. Over the course of late 2025, Tim Morton turned his LinkedIn feed into a masterclass in gaslighting. It is a fascinating look into the mind of a producer who cannot comprehend why his spreadsheet didn't result in fun.
Seems like he would have fun on Twitter or Blue Sky, right? I almost never use Twitter. I don't dislike it. I'm an older gentleman, so I don't really care, basically, generally speaking. Unless it's something I'm passionate about. And in this case, I suppose he's passionate. And he's very passionate because he posts all the time.
There are more than a
But perhaps he shouldn't be posting all the time.
dozen posts, but the pattern is always the same. Step 1. The fake accountability. Part of my job is to make sure Frost Giants games are good enough, so I'm putting a lot of thought into how I missed. It sounds humble, right? But unfortunately the post doesn't end there. Step 2. The deflection. Players have less time than ever. The market is oversaturated. Constriction in capital. Oh.
You don't have to overthink it. In fact, you don't even have to think it. You just have to ask the community, what did you do wrong? Heck, you don't even need to ask the community. They will tell you what you did wrong, whether you ask or not. So you can find out that way.
Oversaturated? Tim, in your Start Engine offering, you talked about how this was $1 billion market. You yourself said there were millions of underserved players in the RTS community. And constriction in capital? You had $40 million. You burned through the GDP of a small island nation and produced a game that looks worse than StarCraft 2 did in 2010. That is not capital constriction, Tim. It's simply a skill issue. But the spiral continues downwards. By October, the
It's so crazy to me how much this changed. The look of this campaign, right? From when I played it. The campaign was very alpha-y. Very alpha-y, just like the beginning loading screen, just giving you the fundamental information before you hop into the level. Just the levels themselves were... They had a little bit of decoration, particularly the Terran areas, but once you got out of that section of the game, it became a little empty, should I just say? Devoid of sort of doodads to spruce things up. It actually looks like they put some effort into this, but from what I've heard, people say that this was still clunky to play, this campaign. I haven't actually got around to doing it yet.
Desperation sets in. He stops talking about fixing the story or the art. He starts talking about the only thing a producer understands, the tech. My goal is to strike a partnership that enables Frost Giant to capitalize on the tremendous technical investment that we've made in Snowplay. And honestly, he's right, because at this point the tech is the only thing of value left in the wreckage. The lore is generic, the gameplay is derivative, and the visuals are mocked universally. The only asset he hasn't completely devalued is the netcode. So what is his master plan? Does he license the engine? Well, to who? Who is lining up to pay 2 licensing fees? One to Epic for Unreal Engine and one to Tim for Snowplay? Just to build a game in a genre that Tim says is oversaturated? He knows this, so he pivots to the final ask. Who can recommend publishers that are actually writing checks in the $5 million range? After burning $40 million, his solution is to ask for $5 million more.
It can't hurt to ask, surely. What more have you got to lose?
To make a new game, to capitalize on the tech. Tim Morton is blind to the simple reality that players don't fall in love with
Oh, that cinematic.
they fall in love with world.
This was the dumbest thing ever, but it's still fantastic. Does anyone remember the cinematic? If you see this bit and you do remember the cinematic, you will remember what happens. You might be able to see what's going to happen. That's not the smartest move. Now, albeit these Vikings cannot attack ground units whilst they're in the air because that's how they're designed. Now, whether that would happen that way in reality, I don't know. But let's just say, for example, in reality, they still couldn't. Would you decide to take on one of these big chaps by yourself? I don't think it's a good idea. But did it look cool in the cinematic? Yes, it did.
They fall in love with characters and their stories. He succeeded at the logistics and did everything a great production director is supposed to do, except make a video game that anyone actually wants to play. So who is Tim Morton? He is not a fraud, he is something much more tragic. He is a man who spent 30 years mastering the how of making video games without ever understanding the why. The paradox of his career is simple. When Tim Morton is hired to finish a masterpiece, the result is Legacy of the Void. But when he tries to start one, the result is Stormgate. The story of 1997 and the story of 2025 are identical. In both, a veteran team promised a successor, and in both they delivered a product that was technically functional but creatively dead. He spent his career believing that if the process is perfect, the passion will follow, but Stormgate stands as a $40 million monument to his mistake. Tim Morton proved he can master the schedule, the budget, and the tech. He knows exactly how to ship a video game, he just doesn't know how to make one.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What's the matter?
Narrator dialogue. Okay. Button. Alt plus O.
Just jump. Just jump over the bridge. It'll be fine. Man, that's a really good video. Well done there, Wimpy. He's only got 219 subscribers. And this video came out less than a fortnight ago. So definitely give that a like. I'll have a link to the video description. His channel, check him out. Like he mentioned earlier, he's also got another video about the failure of Stormgate. So I may have to watch that as well because that was definitely an entertaining video. He put a lot in there. And I enjoyed the pacing. I enjoyed the tone. Tongue-in-cheek humor throughout. And good video, really, honestly. I enjoyed it. Stormgate's a fascinating thing. It's always fun to talk about. And I always like sort of looking into it because you guys are like giving your feedback as well when I do so, and a lot of it's spicy and it's enjoyable to read. So perhaps there's always something to learn from Stormgate. It's like one of those lessons that just are able to continuously teach a message, and everyone has their own opinion on what that message really is. So thanks for watching. Enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, it's good fun, that. There you go. Let's host up a Burbanog then, shall we? Burb a nog. Just give him 5 million. Let's do a Kickstarter in my chat to raise 5 million for Tim Morton's next project. Mm-hmm. It's bourbon time. Hello there, big. No gameplay. I'm about to do some burb. Revenge on the Burb TD. It was in my downloads, wasn't it? I'll host it up in BRB, etc. We didn't finish ET Survival, but we did enough of it to warrant a video, and then they can decide whether we revisit it again in the future, which we probably will do. Come here. Where is you? There's the Delta. Delta, boy. I'm going to get the timestamps for those two. Well, do you even remember that the... Well, the war is so... React to the storm. Get an ego. Ooh, boy, it is quite a beefy
Christmas
one.
that we have.
Analysis. Do you even... Pro players be having so much insights and essentially here of the Warcraft. I see. Are you ready for 28-14? Stormgate. Right, let's see if we got... Mostly done by... says Stormgate actually got a new patch. I think it was mostly done by people that were more dedicated to the game in the community than the... Yeah, it's good fun, that. Has their own opinion on what that message really is. So thanks for watching. Enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. Right. Pulling the space balls on us with the real-time rewind. Oh, that's me just finding the start and the end of the video clips effectively to then put onto YouTube. Let's get to Gavin. We all know how to beat this map now, so it shouldn't be a problem. Should be easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh my gosh. This is you, Big. I recognize the avatar, but I can't see the name. Do I still have the map of my Legion TD 155? If yes, can you please use it on your next Legion TD game? Is the map Mega 3.46? I'll look into it for you. Oh yes, let's go hard. Let's go difficult. Oh, what am I doing? Do random and hope I get something that isn't terrible. Alright, what's this guy up to? We have Axe Tower, Rock Hurler. Oh, okay, this isn't too bad. You want stuff that has strong AoE, particularly powerful towers towards the end. Oh, they've got Gold Mine. You need Arbitorian and Eaton. Okay, now we're cooking. Basic Earth Defensive Outpost deals a decent amount of damage at a reasonable rate. Range is terrible, 555. That'd be pretty close. Ah, what do we do? What do we do? Well, we can only build these, but I was thinking not to spend too much money. Only to spend enough that I can definitely get the next thing, which would be like, let's get 2. 2 is like very subtle, but not too much. Don't go too crazy. Yeah. They have to do 3 shots, so I can't easily take those all out. But we'll do what we can. You want to basically go for AoE. I'll get back to you in a moment, Big. We'll get past the first few levels or whatnot and get some groundedness in this Bourbonog TD. So, each player has their own jank. Looks like there's 2 of us that have the axe throwers. So, for example, you do 1 attack there and then spread it out a little bit so they're not overshooting. I did manage to miss that one though, but that was better than what would happen normally where they'd overshoot, right? They would overshoot and they would do 4 shots where they could kill the mob with 3 shots. Quite the conundrum. Do we get much money? Do we get enough? 40 gold. Oh, I needed 5 gold. Yeah, that's where it gets nasty. Okay, so hopefully I can get 5 gold. I want to sort of always be working towards the good stuff. Tower with the ability to cast Slam, which damages and slows nearby enemy units. You're going to want this for the corner spots. Wow, Rock Hurler's only got 425 range as well. That's going to have to go like there. That's so short, that range. Crazy. Oh, I'm not going to kill even anything here, am I? Let's go for the one at the back. See if we can even get 1. Nah, not even close. Okay, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can try Rock Hurler. Or you can just skip Rock Hurler and go for Quake Tower, honestly. This is one of those maps where it's very difficult to get kills. Especially on the difficulty. It has decent splash. Unfortunately, its range is short, and the Rock Hurler only damages land units, but can absorb some damage from siege. Doesn't sound particularly impressive. Ah, bugger. They don't have quite enough deeps. But they still like to leave one on no health. Do I get that Rock Hurler, or do I just wait a level or 2? That's the question. We don't have particularly strong towers to guarantee kills anyway. And you can either blow all of your money and hope that this does well, but you don't know if it will, whereas the Quake Tower I feel like would. Or at least should be more reliable. It's a tough map. It's a tough map. Unless you get an OP race, it's a tough map to get started. The Slam might do... It does say it does damage, which damages and slows nearby enemy land units. So you got 64 gold. If you're lucky, maybe you can get enough gold with this and the end of the turn gold to get up to 95. If not, someone might be able to spare me 5 gold or something like that. Yeah. Best you can do is get like 1 gold if you spend 10 gold to have 3 towers to guarantee. And you can get a few of it back. So 3 axe towers maybe from the start. But even then. We just need to guarantee some kills. But you're not going to get much more than that. The thing is you know I'm right random. This is one of those problems with this map. Is unless you get one of the OP races at the start, you're just going to be spending more money on bad towers. How's that going to get you out of the problem? The good towers are down here. So you want to kind of spend the least amount of money to get to them. This requires an Arbitorian at Eaton. $74 gold. $76 gold. I'm going to be like 1 or 2 gold shy, aren't I? Don't say no. Embrace the generosity. Mr. Quake. We've got to get to that gold mine as fast as possible.
We need more gold. We need more gold. We need more gold.
Okay, yeah, 3 gold. I knew it. I knew I would need like 2 or 3 gold. You could just tell.
We need more gold.
Otherwise I'll have to sell. Oh, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. That'll do. I got it. Let's whack this down here and then hope this is going to actually have slightly more impact than the shite that I've built so far. I'll give back 3 gold to... Who gave me gold? It's a shame. I know Dark Mega was one of the ones that gave me gold. Was it Phaedric as well? Who gave me the gold? Other than Dark Mega. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we can actually kill something. That's what we're talking about.
I am able to help.
Give 0403. That's so much better. It's not going to kill everything, but it's going to do more than building a few more shitty arrow axes will do. You can't resell for 100%. This stuff sells for like 50%, and most of the time it doesn't even sell properly in the first place. Trying to stop his attacks, and I'll attack like now. We just have to kind of time it a little bit. You can't really place the Earth. I mean, where else can you put the Earth tower? This is about as good as it gets. It's got 425 radius, which is like that far.
Oh no!
It's not big. Arbitorium for the hero. I think you're just going to have to, as usual, just start off slow. Unless you get like some sort of OP race at the start, you're just never going to get it. You're just going to work your way towards the good stuff, even if it takes a long time. So only if the other players are super generous and give me money for it. Obviously, Woodstone's got the same thing. He's got the most kills, so you're going to make that argument. But it depends on how it comes from the other players, the leaks and such. Looks like the rock hurlers are actually not terrible in this. But I know that with the other race, when I had the humans, I tried their cannon tower, and that thing was garbage. And that cost about 45 gold, so it put me off. Alright, let's slow down for a second. Don't attack yet. And now. You kind of need a few more axe towers in a way just to finish those off, but I don't know. Then you just put more money in. We're not going to do anything versus air. It's hard, because I guess I should just wait for the last go. Otherwise you're never going to get it anyway, and then I can't make these guys attack either way. Yeah, there's no easy way to do that, to be honest with you. I can't, as soon as I stop this guy from attacking, he's going to immediately use his ability, so I can't make these attack individually in between. I should have that for this group though, that's what I need. Save it for these 4 or 5. Best I can do.
Oh no! Bring it on! Immediately! For the tribes!
Woodstone has no faith in the Quake Tower. Quake Tower needs just like a little bit more, what is it like? Oh yeah, you can turn that off and on.
I am able to help.
If I turn off the autocast, how do I activate the ability? Just press L. Get a rock boy. Yeah, I do wonder if I should. I kind of was going to go for the Arboretorium. We're so bad at this at the moment. Do I want to go for the rock boys? Is it too late now? Because it's like the money you would have got from them is basically already got at this point. If I build them now, is it too late? Can do, but... so Arboretorium then gets you Giant Cactus. Has a slightly longer range than the Earth Towers. Secondary attack against air units. Was a bit late now. Ancient Law. So what does this require? An Eoton. What the heck is an Eoton? That's got to be something else entirely.
Sleep dulled my senses.
GG. Didn't get a good race. Well, it's not that the race is bad, it just has to be played a specific way, but I took my chance. I don't know what an Eoton is, though. Does anyone know what an Eoton is? Wait, that's him. Okay. So you don't need anything other than just this and then gold mine. So Woodstone's going to have to feed me money to get a gold mine ASAP. As for your request, Big Glutton, do I still have the map of my Legion TD 155? It's possible. Can't see the game stats. Oh yeah, that's because we're all at the top right, aren't we? It's fine. This is like painful because you have to basically spend money on shit to just try to scrape whatever kills you can, but you know it's not really efficient. It's like spending 400 gold for a footman or something. It's like, it's 400 gold. It's way more than a footman should cost, but if you don't spend 400 gold, then that's, you know, that's 400 gold you don't have spent on something that can at least try to kill something. Diversity is our strength, is our greatest strength. There's nothing stronger than diversity. Even though that's kind of an oxymoron when you think about it. Because a difference in opinion, a difference in mentality, a difference in everything, in how you behave, tends to cause more conflictions. It's just nature. Otherwise, lions would be hanging out with deer, and bears would be chilling out with pigs. But they don't tend to do that. Animals tend to stick to their own. And if you want to go off anything, you go off what nature does. So does nature... How much diversity does nature have when it comes to fauna? All the same birds hang out with each other. All the same... you know, mammals hang out with each other. They don't really spread very much, do they? They don't have their own little groups. Delta, Delta. There's a video from 8 years ago called He's Driving Me Batty. That's got 1v1 155. My 1v1 names are out of sync, which is annoying. That's going to break my OCD. This should be 156, not 157. Capybaras are quite multicultural, yeah. Okay. Well, best I could do is just download it from there. I don't know, though. If I can't get it, that's 3.47. That sounds like it's too late. This is 3.46. So that's where I would get the download from, but I don't know if I can. Is that version? I don't know. I don't know how you get that version. So I'm not sure if I can, Big. If there's a way to get a specific version. Big wants the version that was played in 155. Epic War. So this is Mega 3.46p. So I guess if you're looking at that. Does it? 3.46p hotfix. That one would probably be close enough to it, right? Seeing as it actually says it's 3.46 at the top right here. I'll download it. You have to remind me. I don't know. Why do you want that played in specific? Soytopia. You will, Phaedric. You will. You will get down on your knees and you will give me gold. No, it is there, Big Glutton. Is there a reason why you wanted us to play it, though? Because you get to pick. Well, you get to pick in any version. Is it just that I picked in that version? A specific race? Move the overlay for customs. Sure. Let's have a go on that then, shall we? Boom. Let's go hard and random. I got the Red Lord. He's going to be good. He's going to be really good. Cigarette, Unholy Exuder, the Black Caster, who turns out is responsible for 70% of dark magic spells, and the Necropolis. Let's put the Cigarette down. What does it do? It's range 950, so that's huge range. So that could even go up here. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah! Let's go! 18 to 23 damage, so 20 damage. These have got... Oh, so it's a one-shot, really, so you don't want them hitting the same target, really. You want them hitting different targets. Oh, they're slow, though, but they're kind of a guaranteed kill. This is good. Look at this. This is great. These guys are popping off. And they got chaos damage, man. This is more like it. I'm loving this. Tower that sports the Unholy Aura, which increases movement speed of allied units. I don't really know how that benefits me all that much, but there you go. Good lads. I'm gonna do another one. These are great. I'm just gonna keep making those. I might skip the Unholy Exuder. The Black Caster, 800 range, tower with the ability to cast Death Coil, which damages enemy units. Can be used once every 5. I mean, it's kind of... Isn't that just kind of like it was just attacking? It doesn't tell you how much damage that Death Coil does. So there's not too much reliability on that. I think the cigarettes are the way to go here, to be honest with you. I think they're the way to play this.
Where shall my blood be spilled?
Oh yeah, sniping them all. Look at that. I wonder if these can hit air. Land and air. air. So they can.
More gold is required. 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 My face.
Good stuff, lads. Good stuff. Well done, Phaedric. He's actually doing well with those. Which I played those before and they weren't that great, but I guess there's something about the bottom right position that seems to do a bit better than maybe.
I wish only
35 gold. Nah, let's just keep doing the cigarettes.
I will be done.
That's fine. It's nice to have like a 900-ish range tower.
Where shall my blood be spilled?
4 gold friends. I don't know what that is. Oh, I see. You wanted 4 gold. You already got him. Okay. We need to split these into different groups. This is like... That's one group, and that's like a weaker group. So this is like, this could take on a full health, 20 damage. Actually might need more. And then that takes off the weak ones. So we do that, and then do that and that. And we just pick off the weak ones with these two. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you picking up what I'm putting down? This is how we angle it. Not too shabby, boys. Not too shabby. Keep up the good work, everyone. Give yourself a pat on the back. I might try the Unholy Exuder. I guess I should try it. Black Caster there. Where's my anti-air? I don't know if I have anything that says it's good against air. Everything can attack land and air. We can cast the Dark Ritual every 6 seconds. Good splash damage. Vampire Tower sounds like it's quite good. These are some tanky feckers.
My life for Nezul. Yes, master. I bid it.
Move chat over the menu. Oh, yeah, fine. I'm trying to play the game. What do you want? That needs a necropolis, but the necropolis doesn't do much. You're gonna have to wait longer. So that'll attack a bit quicker for 45 to 70 damage. Average. Slow. 45 to 70, so it's kind of doing like 60 damage pretty much. So it's 3 cigarettes basically, so it kind of makes sense. Shorter range, but faster attack. So in theory, it's kind of actually, I mean, it seems like it might be better than making 3 of these. The aura doesn't affect my towers though. If you do the Necropolis, it doesn't do anything for you, but it does set up stuff for later on. Combined death and poison structure. Wherever it attacks, if the unit's hit points are below 41%, the target's destroyed. As the vile poison. Sounds cool. This tower is very, very low, but its damage is huge, plus its range is amazing. 2,500, use it without moderation. Okay. Average. I wish, and they could still do this, they could actually give you attack values. Like how fast you're moving, what the actual attack rate is. Slow is just, what is slow, what is average? So vague. Oh, good.
I wish only to serve.
Unless I just get another exuder. We'll see if we can get enough money for a black caster. We'll try that. Wow, Phaedric really going heavy on those axe towers. We're not going to have enough money for an axe tower. Aren't these going to leak?
Thy bidding,
We might have to put like a tower down and then sell it.
I gladly obey.
These are going to leak.
I bow to your will. I cannot think this.
Guys.
Yes. Stop done. I cannot. I will be done.
Nah, it's too slow. Bugger. Ah! You failed! We've lost to a Murloc! This is terrible. Now look what you've done. You've brought chaos. Man, he's heavy. I feel like my team threw there deliberately because I was doing well this time. Someone's going to get banned. Now we're in trouble. quick. I didn't kick anyone. I got kicked myself. Well, Legolas is taking your spot now. You snoozed. So you losed. You gotta pay the troll toll if you want to get the boy's soul. We've got a professional player in the form of Legolas now, so we should be able to get this done. Let's go hard. And random and hope we get something that isn't terrible. Babana.
Is someone injured?
The Holy Builder. I have the Beacon of Light. A tower that rapidly emits holy light. Though more expensive than most basic towers, it has a very fast attack rate and deals 10 bonus damage versus undead. Okay, well, there's that. Purifier. Holy tower with the ability to dispel positive buffs. It has a decent attack which deals 50 bonus damage versus undead. 50 bonus versus a 10 bonus. And it's... you can get 3 of those for one of these. So 30 to that. Crystal Shrine. Protection against raiders. That's not too much later on. I think we just do these for the moment.
Job's done. Job's done. What ails you?
What is Legolas yapping about?
Is my aid required?
Yeah, you're not going to get that. Should have committed. Well, yes, they're okay. Light beacons. Might want to move on to purifiers when you can, though. You get 50% back for selling, although I'm not even sure if selling works very well. This says it deals 7 bonus damage to undead and 12 to summoned.
Is my aid required?
Probably build another light beacon if I can.
I am your servant. Yes, my
see if we can get another one built. There we go. Speed run it.
Job's done.
Nice, nice, nice. Let that go, Phaedric. I want to kill that one.
Of course.
Okay. I think you always got to keep going in.
I am your servant. Job's done.
You do have to mass early, I think. I think that's just the way it plays out. Also cast Polar Attraction. Oh, that's taunt. Yeah. Okay.
Is my aid required?
Okie dokie.
What ails you?
Purifier. I wouldn't mind trying that out. We haven't even got an undead level yet, so we could pop off on an undead level. See, if we don't build anything extra here, maybe, but probably not. Yeah, I don't think we'll have enough money at the end of this.
Yes, my friend.
To get the purifier, so you might have to do one more of these and then try to get the purifier in the next one. What do you guys think? Write your thoughts in the comments section below. $34 gold, yeah. You could do the one more light beacon. If it did one more light beacon, that's 19 gold. You have to get 30 gold. I think that's doable.
As you wish.
I can give... Oh, okay. Phaedric.
Is my aid required?
Oh, I did bonus damage on undead here. Maybe I should build more for this turn. Okay, I will just build more for this turn. Just because it's an undead level in particular. And then we'll try to get the other purifier, whatever we can. It just seems like the logical thing to do. If you're going to do bonus damage, you should be exploiting that.
More gold.
As much as I want to get the purifier.
More gold is required. More gold is required. Right away. I am your servant. Job done. Yes, my friend.
Yeah, nice.
Is someone injured?
You got 54 gold, 56 gold, Fader. You're doing well, ain't you? You're holding that gold like crazy. Yar.
What ails you? Of course. Right away.
30 gold towers? I don't have 30 gold towers. I have 50 gold and 15 gold towers. I can actually give you that gold, Phaedric, so... I want it back, though.
Is my aid required?
I can actually remove you from my chat. I can remove all sources of you existing. I can delete your presence on the internet.
Yes, my friend. Is my aid required?
Well, that's free gold. How much did I give him? I've already forgotten. 25, okay. So you got 22 gold to go.
Is someone injured?
He's trying to make it confusing. 6 gold.
What ails
It's 9 gold. Am I actually getting this gold properly or not? 12 gold, 15 gold. 15 on my count. It's gonna end up costing you more gold because I'm making this clunky. Fucking hell. Even you, Whisper. Indeed. You will be but a whisper. An echo of the internet. Of the past.
Is someone
I don't know if I got all my money back from him yet. Right. Purifier. Let's try this.
I am your servant. Job done. Is my aid required?
Hopefully this is worth more than what these are. See, that's only 5 to 6 damage. This is up to 48 to 72. But obviously it's slower attack. But not super great damage though. Might kill 2 Murlocs here. That's about it. About it.
What ails you? Yes, my friend.
I think I'm forced to just depend on those undead levels. Doing okay. Looks like Legolas is having a hard time with these bandits. They're not pulling their weight. Chance to stun is interesting, but there's so many... Oh, you got +2 gold there. Pay off in the long run.
Is my aid required?
Looks like Phaedric's going to be getting fat. Woodstone's leaking a lot here. Where's all my leaks? This is the problem. The strongest player is the guy that would normally leak to me, right here. So, where's my leaks? I don't get leaks, so I'm getting cucked on this. Can't I see those bounty hunters? It's because they're stealthy.
Is someone injured? I am your servant.
Okay.
Job's done.
Well, they don't show up on my screen for whatever reason. I guess I didn't pay for the extra content.
What ails you?
I wasn't sure I'd get that. Probably would be quite lucky if I did get that one. The Guardian Angel is one of the most resistant towers to siege attackers. It also destroys undead in one hit. It's an expensive tower. By the light. The old crystal shrine. Yeah, it's quite a lot of mobs still.
What ails you? Yes, my friend.
I wonder if I just got to keep making purifiers. Sanctuary. I think I will kill those. Problem is you build that. I don't know if these are that great. We haven't had an undead. Maybe I should just keep building them until we get an undead level. Oh, bugger.
Right away.
You going? How much damage have we got to do?
Is someone injured?
Not much.
I am your servant.
4, 5 to 6 damage. Okay. Selling for 0 gold. That sounds like good value. Why does that not work for me properly? Yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan of these purifiers, but I think I should make them until I get the undead level. And then save up.
Is my aid required?
Still haven't got the undead level though. Oh, undead is 13. 3, 13, 17, 18. So you get loads of them around that time. Okay. Does anything else do bonus damage to undead? Because if not, then I should probably just mass these purifiers until I get past level 18. You know? I'm thinking that's the way you have to do it. It's kind of dumb, but nothing else says it does bonus damage to undead. And you got like a ton of undead levels like right after each other. Pretty much like 18. Once you get past 18, then you go crazy.
Yes, my friend.
This only says 25 bonus damage to undead and 50 to... None of the tooltips match properly. Big damage. Yeah, I can see this brute force. The unit sees its armor reduced and gives extra gold while dying. So Phaedric's going to get even richer. Gets an extra 2 gold on top of that. Could you sell all your towers and then mass the teddy bears to get the bonus gold that they give if they get a kill?
Of course. Job's done. I am your servant.
Why does this not work? You could sell your one. What's going on, chat?
What ails you? Right away.
See, Phaedric barely leaks anything to me. It's not fair. $1,500 gold and 4 lumber for a hero. Wait, it's not a hero. Weird. Air is 6, 11.
Is someone injured? As you wish.
Feels bad having to wait till level 18, but I'm basically doubling down now at this point. Oh, I didn't get either. Got robbed a little bit there.
As you wish. Job done.
He's got 200 gold spare as well.
Yes, my friend. Of course. Right away.
Why do I mass anti-undead wave if your towers are already good versus undead? Well, it's one of these things where I don't really want to, but it's like, it's expensive to get the other stuff. And you can either just try to get the other stuff, but then you're not going to be good, or you can really overkill it, because you've got effectively 3 undead waves. 13, 17, 18, and then there's a 22. They're all pretty close. What would be better if it was more balanced, where it's like, level 3. Level 7, level 11. And then after level 11, I could start making normal towers. But that's not what the balance is here. The balance is apparently putting the multiple undead levels right next to each other.
Yes, my friend.
So it is what it is, and you're just going to have to accept that.
I am your servant.
I'm making my choice.
Right away.
I'm doing what needs to be done. There will be an invisible level at some point. That's not till level 17, so I'll need to get an altar by that point. I done 9. Thank you very much there for the sub. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. I didn't do nothing. I was a good boy. I was a pillar of the community. Didn't do nothing.
Is someone injured?
Using it to spite Bezos. The less money he gets, the better. Even though I hate TD.
Right away.
Or you may as well just triple down and say you hate me as well. Let's go. Any mud golems in chat? I've made my choice. I'm doubling down. On the bright side, at least I'm always spending money, so we're not going to leak because I'm not spending money at least. But I might leak because I'm not building anything that's actually particularly great. Excuse me. Lonely Bretier. It's Admiral Proudmoore, the human agility hero that I was looking for. Still need to make that a thing.
Yes, my friend. Right away. Job's done.
You're a crystal golem, are you?
Is someone
Yeah, you think of yourself that highly. I'm a gold golem now. These seem okay versus air at least. Yay! 4 gold. Already level 2. Hey, stop stealing my kills, you fecker. Go back. Get your own fecking kills. Admiral Steelmore. Yes. Admiral Pradmore. Hailing as the hero of the Alliance. That was a pretty cool looking move. Yeah, I appreciate you killing most of those before they reach me. At least he hasn't got unlimited mana, so he can't keep doing that. Gonna get some of those. I don't think I get any more of these, even though we still have like 7 levels to go before level 18 is over. But it's so many purifiers at this point, it's kind of painful. Altar with the power to restore buildings, damage undead. Oh, it does say damage undead, so okay, let's start working on that. So we've got the altar over here. Doesn't really matter where that's built, I don't think. Train the priest of Quell for last hero.
I am your servant, of course. Yes, my friend.
You received a wood. So a hero is 250 gold if you want to get this one. Holy hero. Effective at defense and dispelling. Can learn Cone of Radiance, Smite Undead. Holy... Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, they're purifiers, right? They can get rid of the buffs and stuff like that. So can I hit each one? I don't know. I don't know if Mana Shield is really regarded as a buff, though. Hmm. These are really hard to click. Does not want to play ball at all.
Is my aid required? Is my aid required?
I'll probably still just go for the buildings. If I go for a hero, maybe I get one of these weird ones later on or something.
Is someone injured?
Guardian Angel is 20 food. 750 gold. Save up for 750 gold. This does bonus damage versus undead. The Altar of Heavens can cast Holy Light once every 5 seconds and has True Sight. So that will deal with the Invisible Wave on 17. So you're going to probably want one of those anyway. So you could just probably build that next. Aura Generator. Holy Tower that emits 3 auras. That's cool. Pretty useful stuff. We get the Altar of the Heavens next.
Right away. Job's done.
Holy Light. Restore a tower. And then True Sight for the light.
Yes, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Crypt Fiends now. Let's go. This is it. This is my time to really fucking shine now. Like guaranteed 1,000,000 kills. Can't go wrong with all that bonus damage I'm doing to undead.
What ails you? Is someone injured?
No way this can go wrong. There's not even much left over there, is there? This guy keeps stealing everything. The fuck? He's bought another hero as well. Okay, this is getting a bit... The question is, Legolas, has Phaedric shared his wealth with you?
Yes, my friend.
Has he, though?
Is my aid required? Of course. I am your servant. Is my aid required?
I don't know. What has Woodstone done to deserve my wealth?
What ails you? I am your servant, of course. Yes, my friend.
These seem like heroes more than anything else, but... But they are structures. I don't have a hero. I'm not sure if I'm getting a hero or not. This one's still on cooldown because you bought it. It's quite a while to wait before you can get him again. This is a super tanky level. Could leak here, unless anyone's got really good siege damage, I assume. Master of Towers. Feels like I tried to make them attack a tower and they still keep attacking whatever the hell they want. They're very weird. Like, look, I'm targeting it. I can still see shots going off in other directions. Bear King sounds funny. Yeah, we can try stop then attack. I'm not too keen on too many of the heroes here. Hard to know if any of them are really that goosh. So then you got the aura, which devotion is good versus tanking and stuff like that. Brilliance and true shot. True shot might be worth it by itself with that many towers now. 17, 18 is the next undead, I think. So, Book of Gods.
Is someone injured? As you wish.
Aura generator. Thank you.
Right away. Right away. Job's done.
They're on fire. I should be able to remove the fire and purify the rats. Actually, I think that's just an effect. Ah, they do minus damage for your towers? Because I got minus damage. Don't tell me the... Yeah, the aura gives me plus 12 damage otherwise. 20% bonus damage on 10 plus towers, so it should be worth. Oh, so many low health. Can't quite nab them all. I assume Phaedric's broken the game. Does the map have a history of auras working on towers? It does, because it's worked on previous attempts with different towers. I'm getting the feeling this map isn't particularly balanced. You can let those ones come over to me now, Phaedric, if you want. I'll finish them off.
What ails you? Yes, my friend.
Stars Crusher, Holy Tower made by God himself. This tower is the faster of the game, but its damage is weak. But this tower has a 7.5% chance to do 125 times more damage in one blow. Also deals 150 bonus damage versus undead. Heaven's Gates, special tower, it calls upon free angels to fight for your purpose. Special holy tower. Yeah, look at that. This is where the heroes come in handy. Finish off the mob that leaks. Be nice to get the Guardian Tower before level 19, but I don't know how I could possibly... I'll have to ask for a loan. Because that's really good against Siege. Did I actually pay you back for the money you gave me already? Also, I should be popping off like crazy now. There's so much damage to these undead units. I haven't been sold a lie, have I? With all this bonus damage to undead.
Is my aid required?
There's a big difference between the health of those mobs and the health of these mobs. These are, yeah, pretty healthy. Always. Question is, what hero do I get in the end? I don't even know. I could try one of the tavern ones. L'Empereur. It is L'Empereur. You can try a random one. It's cheaper. The Master of Dragons. Sphere of Time Disruption sounds kind of OP. Would it actually be good though? Speed Aura, so... Maybe the Emperor. Here come the Gargs. Oh yeah, look at that massive damage. We could die here, honestly, this turn.
Is my aid required?
These are pretty tough. I would target them, but it doesn't seem to work anyway when I do, so... Cheeky bugger. Wait, oh shit, yeah, I need the money then.
My friend. Is someone injured?
300 gold should nab it.
Right away.
More gold is required. More gold is required. More gold is required.
See how much we get at the end of this. I might have enough at the end of the turn. I think this is by far the most unbalanced Bourbon Octedia I've seen.
More gold is required.
Right, there we go. So we can build Mr. Tank Boy. Ultimate Holy Structure. Do I build it here or there? Because 900 range. I guess you still build the tank. Adestati, thank you very much there for the sub. You're not good enough to stop that leak though. Let's just build it to tank.
Of course, I am your servant. Job's done.
It absorbs 40 damage. It's got piercing damage, even though anti-siege. Deals 250 damage to siege, dispels positive or buff like that. Instantly kills undead units. Okay, let's see how this goes. It gives... oh yeah.
Right away.
Build some trash, yeah. $40 armor, yeah, that is a lot. At least these guys don't have pillage. Gaku. Plus 55 damage. Oh, I see how it is. You're getting your money back, are you? This thing's held up well. It's only lost 150 health. Fuck him. He's done.
Is my aid required? What ails you? I am your servant, as you wish.
Is Stone of Wood Korean?
Right away.
More gold is required.
3 angels to fight. This race is okay, but there's nothing that special about this race. I guess these are like summoned units, so I should do bonus damage to those. I got the most boring race. I think there's worse ones. Yes, boss. So, Emperor. Maybe I get a hero. I should give gold back to Phaedric, although to be fair, I don't think he bloody needs it, to be honest with you. So I either give him 300 gold and then wait for another 355 gold to get a hero, or get the hero now and then start leveling them a bit. I'll give you 300 gold after I get the hero. Get that secure. They're not going to leak, are they? I think they still got one more turn to go, haven't they? Summon. Phaedric is the Jeff Bezos of this game. Well, I killed one of them, so hopefully someone can do a bit better. I'm going to nerf YouTube chat for a moment so I can actually do some editing here. Free gold to the hero. See if I can sell this tower now, finally. There it is. 0 buildings for 0 gold. Makes sense. You wouldn't really get anything from nothing, would you? Unless you're the universe. But then how could there be nothing if there was to something come from it? What is nothing? Is nothing nothing, or is nothing something that you just don't know what it is? That's always the biggest thing that blows my mind. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's just how anything exists. Okay, hero time, the Emperor.
The shadows now. What cunning plan? Is that all?
It's my wee little
Delicious.
satyr. Finger of Death, Caney. We can heal each tower each time a raider falls, no matter who's the unit. Passively increases agility. Yeah. After many years of practicing, the hero can unleash his hidden power on each attack and deal extra damage based on his agility. It's more effective versus raiders, golems and mechanical units. Passively increases attack speed by 10%. More over time, he kills the unit, he gains agility. Okay. That's the one, I suppose. Give a rate of damage return and armor bonus to all your towers. So he's obviously anti-siege. Deal damage to target. Kind of makes sense because I got 3 anti-siege stuff. I don't know how many mobs I'm going to really be able to realistically get a kill on. This is a, like, yeah. You're going to have to like hit the lowest health mob that's got 200 health in order to get. So he's got 36 agility. See if we can get lucky. I think he got the kill there, but I'm still at 36 agility, so I'm not sure that's a guarantee. Deal 10% of bonus each time he attacks. 25% on his raiders. Go on to become passively. Didn't it say something that's going to give me like agility if he gets the killing blow? More over time he kills a unit, he gains agility. I don't know. Each time he attacks, so he's doing more and more agility damage. But he's a melee hero, and these mobs move at like maximum movement speed, so how's he supposed to keep hitting the target when they move faster than him?
Delicious.
Let's try the Finger of Death.
Is that all?
No, it's not enough. Oh yeah, we're dead. Unless you can get all of these. Oh nice. Those are... Oh, polymorph doesn't last that long. Yeah, that's bad. This map, man. Oh what? Sorry, Phaedric, it wasn't meant to be. I guess we just got to work out which the OP races are and then build those, won't we? Because this map is actually very difficult to beat unless you get the OP stuff. Otherwise the rest of the stuff is too weak to sort of do it. The bounty tower was good, but meh. Yeah, I mean, nothing was impressive. Only Phaedric's stuff was particularly impressive, and that was mostly from the heroes he got from all the kills. So it wasn't even necessarily his race. My race was good. The plus 55 armor is great. But it's like defensive. You want an offensive, because we just died there because we didn't have enough offense to kill them. So what's the point of defense if you die because you couldn't kill them? You just need whatever has the best deep damage. That's the way it is, chat. You know it, I know it, we both know it. It's just whether you can accept it or not is up to you. The truth is out there. You just have to decide whether you're going to grab it or not. Illidan is out there somewhere. The question is what is OP and what isn't? What is good enough? Time for more editing for me then. A little bit more editing. Whatever I can do, whatever I can get done, I've got to get done. Simple as. Friday tomorrow, so yeah, back again tomorrow. Friday already, yes. Comes up quick. Comes up quick. Have a good evening. I'll see you guys in the Nexus.